Yes, people, the two Marks are back again. A fan calling show. Get on, have your say. Tell us what you're thinking about your Tottenham Hotspur. Sheriff, how you doing, sir?
All good, my man. All good, my man. The link will be in the chat in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, mate.
Yeah, 10
That
minutes
cool?
is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just thought we'd do a little show tonight and give you people the opportunity to come on and have your say about everything that's going on at Tottenham, the Chelsea result last night, and just Spurs in general. Come on and get it off your chest, whatever you want to say. It's all good.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yes, mate.
What are your thoughts on last night? What are you thinking?
When the game finished, mate, honestly, I thought to myself, now, some people see it different than others. It's one of the two big games of the season for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
It's Arsenal and Chelsea, or Chelsea and Arsenal. Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
And when, like obviously me and you, the ages we are, we've seen a lot of these games in the past, and I've never seen a game where there's no passion, no fight, nothing. I was devastated by it all. To be honest.
The passion in the game, though, Mark, and when you're looking and you're thinking, well, is he really trying and is he really doing it? I think that's been tailing off for a while now. You can see in certain people's performances that players were hiding, and the youngsters, as good as bad, or as good as you want to call them, or as bad as you want to call them, or average, whatever they are. You can see they're running around like nutcases, but it seems to me there's a lot of senior players that are not doing what they should be doing, is the only way I can describe it. Some of them are very poor, Mark. Poor.
It was a lack of passion for me. Me and you have both seen poor Tottenham teams.
Yeah.
We have. We can't. We can't we can't hide that fact. We both have. But even so, you remember back in the 90s when Arsenal were, I wouldn't say great, but they were, without me saying it.
Yeah. I'll just nod for you. Yeah.
And we were like average, Yeah. But when the North London derby come around, or a Chelsea game, yes, we might have lost, but the passion was there. The effort was there. The players knew that it meant something to the fans, and it just wasn't there last night. Right, should we go through the chat quickly?
Yeah, have a look, mate.
Say hello to a few people.
Yeah.
First one in, Mr. Eugene, sir. Big up, mate.
Eugene, how you doing, mate?
Big up, mate. The link will be in the chat shortly. We are waiting for Nige to join us, but the link will be in the chat within the next 10 minutes.
You can, bear with us for 10 minutes. We'll just get a few people in, and then we'll start. People can start coming on.
Yeah. Look out, is he talking about? He's talking about you, isn't he?
Yeah, Mark Army. The Mark Army's in town. Swifty's in.
Yeah, Mark Army and all that. Oh, Tottenham away raid. Thank you, Stel. Thank you, Stel.
Thank you. Cheers,
Thank you, Stel.
Appreciate that.
We will thank you Sunday.
Yes, we will.
Oh, the sheriff's on the pool.
Yeah, there you go. They don't talk about me like that, mate. It's only you.
Yeah.
The rumours are all about you, mate.
Is this something to do with mud in the pub, do you think?
It could be, but
possibly. We won't talk about it. There's no mud. There ain't no mud in the pub this week, is it?
I don't believe so. No.
No, unless me and Nige decide to do it sober.
Yeah, it could be.
Right, Lisa's here. Oh, Lisa's here.
All right, Lisa. Nice to see you.
We look forward to meeting you as well Sunday.
We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Daniel,
Big up, Dan.
Bear with us. The link going in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Luke. Luke's in. Big up, mate. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in, mate. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cheers, fella.
Rich C. We look forward to seeing you as well Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you Sunday as well.
Paratici's still a possibility.
Yeah, apparently his AC Milan deals fell through.
Oh, is it?
Apparently so.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't read much about it, but I just caught it on the feed that I've got. Yes, fell through. So there's still hopes that he may come, apparently, but you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, see who else is in the chat.
Yeah.
Jeff. Right, Jeff. Big up, Jeff. Big up, mate.
Big up, mate.
And evening chat. Sorry, I'm late. Whenever you're ready, Nige.
Whenever you're ready, Nige.
Whenever you're ready, Nige.
Just come in when you're ready, man. Yeah. We'll get Nige in and then say hello. And then Mark will put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, so, yeah.
Do you want me to whack the link in now, mate?
You can if you want to, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Mark, apart from passion, Chelsea game yesterday, what is there, when you look at it, apart from the whole thing being is there anything in particular where you look and you think you're actually looking yourself on the pitch and you think this is not right?
No, it wasn't, was it?
You know, it's just I don't know how to explain it, Mark. It's just like it's almost like you're watching a bunch of strangers play.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You know, because like I was watching a lot of it last night, and we couldn't even string 2 or 3 passes together, man.
No,
was it? They did honestly look like a bunch of strangers, you know.
Yeah, it's been like that for weeks and months, so Mark, hasn't it? How many times have we been in chats and on people's channels, and the first thing that comes out is we can't pass a ball 5 yards.
Yeah,
because everyone's doing everything at 100 mile an hour all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
I've already read this, but this is quite a funny comment, mate.
Big up, Scott.
Big up, mate. Scott. Right, I shall stick the link in the chat. See if we get any takers.
Yeah. Feel free to come on, anyone. Feel free. We're just chatting about the Chelsea game last night.
Yeah.
And anything you want to talk about in general. You want to get stuff off your chest. You want to have a rant without two going over the top with the swearing. But have a rant by all means.
But they can say what they want on there, mate. Well, obviously not too much, but we're not monetized, so you say what you like, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hang on.
Nige is here.
Nige is here. Let's bring him in.
Evening,
Nige. And we got another guest as well. Straight in.
Hello, Nige. And Daniel's straight in as well.
Dan 90. And I think that... Oh, no, there's not. I thought there was another one.
Big up, gents. How you doing?
Big up.
Big up to all of you.
Yeah, we was just having a brief chat about last night and lack of passion on the pitch again. Can't play simple 5-yard passes again. One shot on target. I mean, come on, gents. Daniel, Nige, talk to us about it a little bit last night, because I'm just dumbfounded by it all. My opinion is that most of them ain't even playing for him anymore. The youngsters might be, but I think the rest of them, I just think they've give up on it. I really do. I think they've give up on it, and I think they just think it's a waste of time. What do you think, chaps? Nige, if you want to go first, then we'll bring Dan in.
It's one of them, isn't it? Because I didn't expect much going into last night. You know, Chelsea away, always a tough game. We usually lose, but I was expecting a bit of passion, a bit of drive, a bit of something, and it was severely lacking. You know, we've had 2.5 weeks without football, and I think we're all, even though we've missed it, I think we're all kind of like okay, we got Spurs back now. Let's see what we can do. 2.5 weeks they've had to train for this game. And there was just nothing now. I think you're right. I think the players have stopped playing for him. Yeah. In the main, there's probably a couple that are still playing for him. But I just don't think they believe in the tactics. No. And I'm sure we're getting to the fans as well. I think the fans he's lost the fans. He's losing the players. And, I've been saying for months this guy should go. But he never does. So it's just another game, isn't it? Another game, another defeat. We go on to the weekend and see what happens.
But I think Mark, can you just read the private chat, mate? I just put a message in there for you.
Yeah. You carry on, Mark, while I'm reading this. Yeah, okay. No. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll deal with it. Sorry,
yeah. All right, no worries, mate. No. But it's just true what Nige said. Like, I mean, we just can't continue this form. If the bottom three were better than what they are, we'd be in a relegation battle. 16 losses in the Premier League in one season is not acceptable for a club allegedly the size of ours. It's not acceptable, is it? I mean, 16 losses, and let's face it, it's only what? Well, how many games have we played now? 31? 30?
Yeah, beginning of April, 16 games lost in the
Premier League. And we've lost over half of them. That's the sort of form you'd expect from the sides that had come up, that are pleased with 17th.
Yeah.
Not for us with the £1 billion stadium and best this and best that. And, it's just not acceptable. It really isn't. I mean, when we first started, mate, I said, we've all seen some pretty average Tottenham teams. We have over the years. But at least, because I used to go a lot in the 90s. I used to go a fair bit in the sort of late 80s through to about the mid 90s. I went a lot. And there's one thing I could always say. Yes, we never had the best teams. For certainly some of the 90s, we never. But like, the pride was there. The effort was there. The passion was there. Whenever we played Chelsea or Arsenal, the two biggest games of the season, let's get that in there. Two biggest games of the season, wherever we played them, that they tried. We might have lost, but you knew the effort was there.
Yeah.
There was none of that last night. It was awful. Well, let's face it, Chelsea could have scored in the first minute. Yeah. One ball over the top.
And that's not the first time that's happened this season either in the first minute.
No.
Let's bring Dan in.
Two first choice centre halves as well.
Yeah, Nige. Yeah. Let's bring Dan in if he's still there. Dan, hope you're well.
Yeah.
What are
I'm all good.
What are your feelings on last night as a Tottenham supporter?
Well, like you said, we nearly conceded in the first minute, straight from the first whistle. You could just tell how I was really, really, really fed up. And I'm fed up to a point where people will start saying about the injury crisis. We've been falling off a cliff since about October 2023. When you look at it, man, it's 8 games against Arsenal, Chelsea, 7 losses, one draw. Did we have an injury crisis during them entire 8 games against our 2 of our biggest London rivals? No, we didn't. So you can't use excuses for that. There's so many things that's got me really, really, really angry about yesterday. The performance, for a start, I understand. I'm one of these ones who said maybe the Europa League's more important than the league, but still, this is Chelsea. This is Tottenham's Chelsea. Yeah, the effort in that game from the players as well, for the manager. And the manager, the thing that's really, really peeved me off yesterday is what he done yesterday after during the game, with the couple of the year. It's not so much that; it's the bit where that he done it, and then he's gone back on the press conference after, and he's blatantly lied to every single Spurs fan, who's basically a Spurs fan. He's basically insulting us on national TV. You can see his cup in his ear, right after Sarr scores the goal. He's done that. He backtracked because he realised he's a complete and utter idiot what he's done, and that's insulting us even more by lying to us. Yeah. I'm really, really frustrated. I'm really frustrated that any Spurs fan would defend him after what he done last night as well, because that is insulting a football club. That is just insulting the fans. That's insulting the football club as well. But this guy is picking up £5 million a year, and he can't take criticism. If he can't take criticism, he's in the wrong job. Simple as. If you ain't got thick skin to be a Premier League manager, you're in the wrong job, because you're gonna be under pressure. And this guy showed me. This guy basically had it all his own way in his football career when he's been in like jobs at Celtic, where he's had it all easy. As soon as he comes to the Premier League, as soon as he goes under pressure, he folds, and he looks like a pub-style manager. That's what he is. He's a pub-style manager who really should be managing a team in League Two, not the Premier League. Should be managing a team in League Two, not the Premier League. That's his level. And we're seeing now, like you said, 16 losses in 30 games. That's embarrassing. That's like no disrespect. I like Wolves and Palace and that, but that's a Wolves and Crystal Palace sort of level form. This has been going on for too long now to start saying this is just an injury crisis. For Spurs fans to say, "Oh look, we're going to get better." Like, we have no hope of beating Frankfurt. And even if we did beat Frankfurt, how the hell are we going to scam our way to winning the Europa League? Like, in my eyes, we should have sacked him yesterday, right after that game, after he made his job untenable by his reactions during the game and after the press. You got him in a press conference after the match. The interviewer was asking him simple questions that an interviewer asked a manager after the game. He's getting triggered by that. He completely lost it with the interviewer yesterday after the match as well. He's getting asked questions that he doesn't like getting asked because he's under pressure. And right now, I would have sacked him yesterday. And people might say this is mad. I would just give it to Ryan Mason for the rest of the season. Screw it. I'd rather have Ryan Mason, give us a chance to go into Frankfurt, than this guy. This guy is getting me so angry now watching these games. And his reaction, his demeanour yesterday was an absolute joke. This is a guy who's managed for over 25 years, apparently, and has the thick skin of a guy who's only been managing for like 1 year. That's his thick skin. So when he can't take any criticism. The guy who was the guy was it a couple of weeks ago when he got the one individual bloke in the stands criticised and said, "Ange, what are you doing here?" And he went over to him like, he couldn't even take that criticism. I mean, he can't take any sort of level criticism when it gets thrown at him, He fooled the public into making it like he was Mr. Nice Guy when he first come in as well, like he was good with the interviewers. He's not that. He's very, very, what's the word? Very he's demeaning. He's very demeaning to the interviewers when they ask him simple questions, because he seems to think his style of play. I don't even know what his style player is anymore. That football I watched yesterday was an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke.
I felt sorry for that Sky. I felt sorry for that Sky reporter. He asked him a simple question. He nearly ripped his head off.
So it was a simple question.
It was embarrassing.
Simple question. Simple questions. That you ask a manager that's under pressure because he's lost 16 games out of his last 30 matches. This is not a guy who's sitting sixth in the Premier League who's just lost one game out of the last 8. This is a guy who's losing nearly every single week for the last 4 or 5 months. They're asking him fair enough questions that they should be asking a manager who's lost that amount of matches. This is no disrespect to us, Wolves or Palace or someone like that, who's naturally finishing 14th or 15th every season. This is a team who have just gone from 5th all the way now down to literally 5 points above 17th. If Wolves win at the weekend and we lose against Southampton, we could be behind Wolves by next weekend. We could literally finish this league 17th. If people were said at the beginning of the season Spurs were going to finish 17th, I think everyone would have been like, what? You know what I mean? No one on the planet would have thought they were talking absolute. It's madness. It's absolute madness. Yeah. Even if we won the Europa League now, even after his reaction yesterday, I think he's made the relationship with the fans so untenable now. He can't bridge that gap. I think even if you won a trophy, the short-term thinking that will be. If you look at it, Man United were in the same situation as us. They won an FA Cup and they decided to stick with Ten Hag. 4 months later, he was gone anyway. We could have exactly the same situation with Ange. We keep Ange 3 months into next season, into September, October. We're sitting bottom of the league after 8 matches, how Ramos did after he won the League Cup, and he's gone anyway. So it's all short-term thinking about it. Ange is doomed. No matter what happens here now, Ange is doomed. There's no way he is getting us back on track from here. If it's a short-term winning by winning the Europa League, you might be able to do that. But he's not fixing this slump in the Premier League. This could get worse next season if he stays there. That's the way I look at it.
Put it this way, right? Sava got called out. Big up Sava, by the way. Sava got called out on his show for predicting at the start of the season that we were going to finish 7th. 7th.
Yeah.
You know? He predicted that we would finish 7, and there was people on in there calling him negative, deluded. We're going to finish 3rd. We're going to finish 4th. But a club of our size should not be. Did we go down a place last night? Are we still 14th? I don't know. I don't
Still
even look at the
14th,
table.
got lucky.
I don't even look at the table anymore. But a club of our size, with our infrastructure, should not be 14th. I don't care who it is. I know we got the problems with the owners, which is why we're all going Sunday. But even with that,
we've had these owners for the last 20 odd years, and we haven't been this crap.
Well, exactly.
We blame the owners for a lot, but
yeah, that's what I was trying. Yeah. That's what I was trying.
And I just want to bore some people with facts. Now, some people might have seen these today. I've typed these down on my phone, so bear with me for looking down because I've got my phone here. I've got to have it close because I have my glasses on. But I just want to give you a few facts about our manager. Okay? Just give me 2 or 3 minutes and I'll reel them off. Ange Postecoglou is the first Spurs manager to lose their first 4 matches against Chelsea. Number 1. 29 points from our last 34 Premier League games. I'd say that's relegation form, that, personally. Yeah. I'll carry on.
29 points from what? 34 games?
Yeah.
So that's virtually a season, man.
Not far off.
All but 4 games.
Not far off.
And we got 24 points. 29 points.
29 points from the last 34 Premier League games. That is shocking in itself, just on its own. But I'll carry on, and then everyone can jump in at the end. 44 points from the last 38 Premier League games.
So what was that again, mate?
44 points.
Yeah.
From our last 38 Premier League games.
So that's a season then.
Yep, 44 points. So that'll have you just above relegation.
Yeah.
16, 17.
We have suffered more defeats this season than Arsenal have in the last, I can't read that. I think that is meant to be 8. I think that's what I've wrote down. I could be wrong there. Have suffered more defeats this season than Arsenal have, in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I knew that one anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's another one. Right, let me just carry on. It's the most defeats in a season since 2008-2009. Only in 14th due to goal difference, yeah. Our season win rate under Ange is 28%. Right? Let me get a bit of light here. 1977 was the last time we lost 16 league games from our opening 30 matches.
And we got relegated.
No side has earned fewer points in London derbies this season than Spurs. And just one more. No shots on target. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
In the first half, 9 times in the Premier League this season.
No shots on target 9 times.
9 times.
That's a joke, man.
We are Ange ball. We are attacking. We play 2-0-8. Why are we going 9 games of a first half without having a shot on target? Yeah. Please, someone enlighten me. Because I don't know.
I don't know what to say.
That last one in itself is a shocking statistic from a so-called attacking team.
It says it all about the fact that we are apparently second or third highest scorers in the Premier League. It's because we score all our goals in bulk in like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we don't score.
I was going to say, the games we have won, we've won handsomely now when we've scored 4s. Like West Ham was a 4, wasn't it? Everton was a 4, wasn't it? Man City was a 4. Yeah, Villa was a 4.
Yeah.
This might be some of last season's as well. I don't know. The rubbish has been going on that long and it just blend into one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we've not done that for a while, have we?
No.
That was all early on in the season.
No.
Back to that game's about scoring now. Is it in the Premier League about Fulham and Chelsea? As well, obviously we lost 2-0 against Fulham, 1-0 against Chelsea as well. So
yeah,
we're struggling to like that stat about having 9 games without a shot on target. That's embarrassing. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, like you said about the amount of goals we've scored in patches in these games where we've scored like we've won games 4-1 quite a lot this season. I think we've won 4-0, 4-0, 4-1 against 4-0 against West Ham, 4-1 against Villa, 4-0 against Man City, 3-0 away at Old Trafford when Man United were down to 10 men when it was 1-0. A lot of these games are coming patches, like a lot of these like over a little 7-8 game periods. We have not scored a lot of goals over a consistent period. But this stat about like, and when it come, we at least got told where we was gonna buy into this. This is going to be a painful process, but at least we're going to see some good. We're going to get our identity back as a football club, apparently, and start seeing some good attacking football. Well, I'm sorry, we've got no identity now. We literally have no identity at the moment. We're literally just a sinking ship on that football pitch and off the pitch. It's becoming a serious problem. There's neglect at all levels of the football club right now. That's what's the biggest problem with this football club. This manager and people are going to hide behind. Are they worried about this, the rinse and repeat cycle? No, that does not give you an excuse to back an out-of-depth manager because you're worried about a rinse and repeat cycle. Just because Spurs, I don't know how many managers in the last 20 years, it's about 15 or 16 or so, whatever, it's quite a lot, does not mean you give excuse to let this manager have a third season because you're worried about the rinse and repeat cycle or having another manager. That is not how you run as a big football club. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, it's because you're worried about who the next manager is going to be 12 months down the line and if we're going to be in this process 15 months. No, that does not give you reasons to back a manager who's completely out of his depth. And this guy is showing he's completely out of his depth in this Premier League. He might be... That's what I mean. Competitions are completely different to league season. We're in a cycle now where we only play like European competition every few weeks. So it's like it's a reprieve from the league. So these players might be able to find a situation where we go up against teams who are not that great in the Europa League and we might get away with it. We play crap in this Europa League and we're still in the quarterfinals. But the problem is with the Premier League, you play crap in the Premier League, you end up 15th or 14th. We cannot back this guy going into a third season. There's no circumstances that can make this guy have a first season at this football club. Because if this guy has a first season at this football club, it is going to be doomsday next season. I completely worry about where this football. You're going to have to rely on the 3 teams in the bottom 18, 19, 20 having an awful season again. It might happen. You're just going to have to keep relying on that. Because this guy might literally, as soon as we have any sort of injury crisis again, he's going to fall back into this. He don't know what he's going to be able to do. He doesn't even know what he don't even know what to do anymore when he has the players fit. So if he gets any sort of... There's so many red flags about giving this guy any more... I would have sacked him long before yesterday, but if we were serious as a club, we would have sacked him yesterday after his actions off the pitch and the results that are going on the pitch as well, and we would have got any sort of interim manager in charge before the 10th of April. I don't matter, any sort of interim manager, because basically people can say, Ryan Mason's shit, or whatever, like, he is shit. Oh, sorry about swearing, mate. Obviously, he is crap.
We ain't monetized.
Sorry, mate.
No, you do what you like.
All right, big up, mate. He's a crap manager and that, but the one thing that he might have embodied into this team, at least over the next couple of games, is completely dusting up that inverted left back and right back crap, which makes us so open when we don't have the ball, and we might have seen some like freshness into this team that might be able to get us over the line, at least in the Europa League. Right now, we have no chance. We're probably just going to lose every single. I'm thinking we're going to beat Southampton. I've done all my predictions, hoping we're going to get some points, but I'm not confident about beating Southampton.
I can see us winning Sunday. because Southampton.
If they score the first goal, if they score the first goal in that game, if they score the first goal in that game against us on the weekend, I hate to think how the players are gonna react, because right now the players just seem to be done for confidence right now as well, and they seem to be like the Maddison interview after the game yesterday. It seemed to be he seemed to be quite authentic, but like at the same time, it seems to be he's repeating a lot of what the players have said in the last few games. Like, oh, we want to turn this around for the fans and that. Like he said, basically, the fans don't even want to hear what we've got to say right now. So he sort of knows, the players sort of know how the fans are pissed. They're pissed off. They know it as well. He sort of understands it as well. He said basically he's just trying to tell us to stick together because we can have a special season. It could be a special season for the football club, but right now, if we win this Europa League, it's not because of Ange, it's in spite of Ange. That's the way I look at it now.
Right. There's no way. For me. Sorry, mate. I was going to say Maddison for me looks absolutely done.
Yeah.
He looks like he's had enough.
We do have a question here about the football, though. Right? That's why I stopped. I haven't brought any comments up for a while. Have we done double over any teams this year?
Man United, I think.
United.
Oh yeah.
We beat them 3 times. Yeah,
but that's
in the cup as well. Yeah,
but I think Man United in the same season have had Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Forest having a great season though. Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest have done their first double over Man United since the early 90s, and we've done our first double over Man United since 1990. So doing a double over Man United isn't something you can really take as an achievement right now. Do you know what I mean? Because two clubs have ended a 30-year curse. Beating them both home and away in the same season. Obviously, Forest having a much better season than us, but that shows you just how much of a disarray Man United are as well. So I think that's the only team we have done a double over this season is Man United. Home and away.
I can't think of any others, can you? Well, we haven't won that many games, to be honest, have we? To be honest, to get the chance to double over them.
Yeah.
It's madness.
I still can't get my head round how he hasn't gone. I don't get it. He's just like a shield, isn't he? He's going at the fans now, and he has been for a few weeks. There's been a few different issues, like Dan said there, and he just came across yesterday very unprofessional. And like Dan said, when he knew what he was doing when he was giving it, he knew exactly what he was doing.
And then he tried to backtrack.
And then to give that bullshit answer in his interview, for me, was a bit like just bollocks. Just bollocks.
Right. The thing is, though, he got caught out, Mark, didn't he? Because if that goal had been given and he's cupped his ear, it would have been forgot about because Spurs had scored. So I think when he said today, I won't celebrate in future, I think he was kind of aiming at the fact that he went to the fans too early.
Just say good evening to Ellie. Evening, Queen.
Evening, Ellie.
Big up, Ellie. Big up.
Big up, Ellie.
Hope you're well.
And Mr. Cockney Geezer.
Mr. Geezer, hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah. Nice to see everyone. Nice to see everyone.
Lucky Singh.
Hope you're well, mate.
Yeah.
Hope you're well. Where do we go now, chaps? We've got Europa's coming soon. Now, we're not seeing anything changing on the pitch regarding, first we had, all the players are out or this many players are out. It's upset the system, this, that and the other. Now, apart from Kulu, I believe, pretty much everyone was available for that game yesterday. So I find it really difficult to work out or try and work out where we're going, because the tactics and the system will not change for Frankfurt. They're not going to change for anyone. It doesn't matter who he plays against. Now, to me, Frankfurt might not be the best in the Bundesliga, but they are a tasty team. There's no getting away from it. They've got some very, very good players.
Yeah.
And it worries me because I almost feel like he's going to go and play in Europe, and a European manager is going to have time to not even work out his tactics, but, put into his players how they're going to win against us.
Was it in the Chelsea build-up where they were questioning him about his plan B, and he said, no, what did he say in the pre-Chelsea build-up? It's like we're going to sort of have a fight with them, and we're going to sort of have a fight with them and see if we come out on top.
We'll play our game, didn't they?
Yeah,
we're going to go there. We're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a go and see if we can give them a good game. That, basically, he didn't say it because they asked him, and he was going to basically put out a strategy to obviously make it a bit harder for them to break us down. He said, "Well, no, we're just going to go there, mate. We're going to give them a go, and we can see it. We're going to see if it's a good game." What sort of answer was that? Like, I know he probably didn't want to give much to the interviewer, but it sounded like it was just like nobody thought into his process of like what he was saying. Like, he don't seem to be able to read the room with his answers when he's answering at the moment his interviews either. So like, he's trying to not pee off Spurs fans. He's not doing a good job of it because he's just getting us more angry with some of the stupid crap he's coming out with. And the way he just snapped at the interviewer yesterday when the interviewer was just putting him under any sort of pressure. When the interview done a good job yesterday. But sometimes when you're asked to do an interview, you're asked to do a good interview and get a reaction from the manager. But he sure got one yesterday, and he didn't even have to ask him any really personal questions. He just asked him questions about why he's not doing good at the moment and why he cut his ear to the Spurs fans. And he didn't seem to want to get asked a genuine question about why did he do it. And like, it's just the
writing was on the wall for me with Ange when we lost at Brighton when we were 2-0 up. And after the game, he said, "Well, I didn't think we deserved it." You know what I mean? And that's his job to get points for us, you know? Yeah, because they were questioning him about why he didn't change nothing or something. And he said, "Well, I didn't think we deserved the win." You know what I mean? I mean, that's red flags immediately.
He said so many stupid things. When you think about it, the pressures over the time, especially this season, you know, I don't know what you guys thought. I'd had enough Chelsea game, mate, when he set them up on the halfway line. That just dumped me totally. I was totally flummoxed by that altogether.
I've never seen that in football ever. I've never seen that before in football. I've never seen a manager do that ever in my life. Only time I've ever seen that before in football is when it's like the 93rd minute and the team score a goal, and you put literally at the halfway line, you put everyone on the halfway line because you're literally going to get the ball and you're going to put it straight in their half. You want everyone just to go right into their half straight away. That's the only time I've seen players line basically your entire outfield team line on the halfway line. It's when they're getting ready from a kickoff just to basically get the ball right into their half. I've never seen any team ever do that in my professional life as a football club. That's what I'm saying. That is completely red flag straight away. If you see that here. I don't even know why he even thought that was even smart to even do that as a manager. That just looks like that's crazy. Just watching, just seeing that. He's got every single ball. What we have to do is put a ball over the top, beat the offside trap, or stay on the halfway line because if they stay in their own half, they're onside, and they were through every single time on goal. And we have to do is put it late across the Jackson every single time. That could have been. It could have been. If Chelsea really wanted to, that could have been about 9 or 10-1 if they want. Well, was it 2-1 the score? They could have smashed us that game if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
That high line was just like, that's mad. When I watched that still to this day.
Yeah, unbelievable, mate. Let's welcome Mark in. Mark Army. How are you, Mark?
Yep. Not a member of the Mark Army.
Hello, boys. You all right there? Yeah, I'm good. Very good. Another day, another loss, isn't it?
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, it was shocking. What are your thoughts on last night, Mark? And not just the game, but in general with everything that happened with Ange and that.
You know what, boys? I'm of an age now. I've supported Spurs since the early 80s and remember the good times and not so good times in the 90s. I don't actually. I used to go mad. I used to celebrate and swear when we conceded. Now, nothing. If they scored, oh well, they scored. They scored again. Spurs score, oh well. I hate it. It's diabolical. This football is turgid, awful. It's rubbish. It's honestly, not attacking. That's a lie.
Honestly, Mike, I used to get physically upset if we lost.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it ruined a few days for me now. I don't care.
No.
I honestly don't care.
I'd rather not watch it if I'm honest. it's like that old thing where you have to go back and you know, there's something about you that makes you go watch it. If there was something else on or I had something else to do, it wouldn't bother me now not watching Spurs anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think the word that you use there, Mark, turgid, is a great word. Yeah. But I think a lot of the trouble is on the football side with Ange. You know, you had the 10 games at the beginning of last season, the 8 wins, 2 draws, whatever it was. But then ever since then, we've seen nothing different, have we? You see the odd tweak where he might not push the inverted fullback on as much, one of them, but it's very, very rare. And I think that's what a lot of people are pissed off with, to be honest with you. It's the same all the time, and everyone can see it's not working.
Yeah, this what just shows you the first 10 games were a complete fluke, really. Let's be honest. Although there were games we played well, we were lucky against Liverpool in them first 10 games. We were lucky against Sheffield United. They weren't all plain sailing. We weren't winning 2-0, 3-0. We had a lot of luck, and now our luck's run out, and his luck has run out. And
a lot of last-minute goals, wasn't it? A lot of last-minute goals.
Exactly. Putin scored one against Sheffield United, wasn't it? Yeah. We had a lot of luck. And, you know, you need a bit of luck. But his luck has definitely run out. And I think last night, if Sancho was a good left winger and then a good forward, they'd have ripped us 5-6-0. They would have hounded us, absolutely destroyed us. It was only the fact that Chelsea aren't the team they used to be that we got away with a 1-0.
Oh, God. And it's depressing, eh? We're doing this shit every week, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Every single week. And sorry to the audience if we sound, and the chat, if we sound depressed about it. But, you know, it's just like you go from the team to the manager to the owner. And it don't matter who you're talking about in the chain. You know, we're all thinking, what's going on at our football club? What are they doing to us?
When was it, Mark, that we had this conversation backstage and we said, the show we've just done, we just will copy and repeat it, put it out next week for the next one.
Yeah.
And we just will do that.
It wasn't many shows in. It wasn't many shows in after we started.
Yeah.
Put it that way. We've probably done 3 or 4 of them, looked back on them, and it was the same thing, just over and over again.
Yeah. It's like you said earlier. It's like you said earlier, Mark. You know, it was 2.5 weeks without a game, and I personally was looking forward to seeing Spurs again. But within a minute, that long ball over the top, it's just like, why am I bothering? Yeah. Why am I bothering? It's going to be the same old story.
Yeah, it's just shocking, and it does my head in, to be honest with you, because I don't know if it's me or not. You lot might be able to help me here, because sometimes I do think it is me. I don't see what people find attractive about it. What is it? Is it the 208? Is it the big donut with a big hole in the middle of the midfield? Is it the thrill of the other team transitioning on us and we've only got 2 at the back and there's excitement in the ground? What is it? What is it about it? Because I just don't get it, and I can't get anyone on the show with that opinion, because I want to talk to them about it. I want to try and understand where they're coming from and what their points are, but no one ever comes on with that opinion. But the chats are full of it. When you go in chats on other channels, you know, they're full of it. Keep him. He's wonderful. Can't you see what he's doing for us? No, I can't. Please explain. I don't know. What chaps, come on, help me out a bit, please.
I just wonder if people just can't admit when they were wrong. I put on Facebook today, I said, after the first 10 games, I was like, I could see this may be working. And after the Chelsea game, the same as Saba, same as a lot of people, I went, nah, this is rubbish. This is he doesn't know what he's doing. I admitted I was wrong. I don't think other people can, say we were wrong as well. I think they just doubled down now.
Yeah, Dan, what's your thoughts on it, mate?
100%. Like, you see some fans now as well. Some of them got too emotionally invested in this guy as well, so they don't want to admit that he's failing in this country as well. Because some people have followed him. I'm not going to go too much about this, but we've had some fan bases who have followed Ange, not Tottenham, before Ange come here, and they're getting too emotionally invested in him failing, and they don't want to admit that he's struggling in the big leagues, which is a fact. And like he said, like the guy Mark just said as well, a lot of these don't want to admit they're wrong. I was one of the first guys. I couldn't openly admit I didn't really want Conte here, yeah. And if you can take me back now, I would go back in the time machine and bring Conte back, because Conte's gone to Napoli in the space of one season. They finished 8th last season, completely outside of Europe. He's got them back in a title race instantly. They've lost 2 of their best players this season in Kvaratskhelia and Usman, and he's dealt with it. He's still a lot of these fans now have got to the point where they do not want to admit they're wrong, and in my eyes, that's weird, because you're basically sitting there. You do not want to admit you're wrong with the detriment of your football club. We're sitting potentially. I think it was 1998. I was a kid in the 90s. But I started supporting Spurs early. Well, Euro 96 was my first memory. Christian Gross, I think he finished 16th that season, and we nearly got relegated. And we ain't going to get relegated this season, but there's a very, very good potential chance we could finish 17th this season if Wolves pick up a couple wins in the next couple games and we don't start winning. We could literally have our worst ever Premier League finish in our history since the Premier League started. I don't see what any person is backing anymore to say, "Oh look, there's can't you see what we're seeing? Can't you see what we're seeing?" What are people seeing? Because I don't understand. People will say, "Oh, just get these players. Eventually, we'll get the players, and eventually we'll start. It will get better. The process will get better, and everything like that." Well, do these players even exist in football? These imaginary players that apparently work for this system that I don't even know what this system is anymore. Because the football we're playing is depth. And Ten Hag got a lot of criticism before he got sacked by Man United, yeah? By a lot of fans saying, "I don't understand what the football is," after being there for 2 years, yeah? And Ange got a lot of praise in the first season by people saying, "Look, Ange is implementing a style and Ten Hag isn't." But what is Ange implementing in this second season then? Because it's backwards. It's gone completely backwards. And if some fans will use Arteta as an excuse for saying, "Oh, look, Arteta struggled in these first 2 seasons." Well, at least I'm not gonna big up Arteta too much here, because he's still failing at Arsenal. But in his second season, you started seeing him implementing his style of football. There was a difference to the first season. This second season is 100% worse than the first season. It's completely backwards. And if you're going to sit there and give this guy a third season and say, look, we're going to see some progress, there's no progress to give this guy a third season. Even if we win Europa League, it's literally scamming Europa League on the basis of we got lucky in a knockout competition. It's not going to be because of Ant, it's going to be in spite of Ant. I cannot understand what fans are saying, what they say. We're literally having our worst ever Premier League campaign in our history, and fans are saying, can't you see what we're seeing? Back the process and all that crap, yeah? This guy's going to get us to the Mets, to the Maryland. No chance, man. This guy will get us relegated if he stays in much longer. I can't believe I'm saying that as a Spurs fan. That this guy will eventually get us relegated if he stays in much longer. I'd like to sit here in January and February and start worrying about Leicester and Ipswich results. That's how bad this manager was getting me. I was worried in January and February about Ipswich and Leicester results, thinking if they start winning some games, we're going to get sucked into a relegation battle. How embarrassing is that, man? We were the Champions League final 5 or 6 years ago here. The fall from grace to where we are now, to a point is where we're sitting there saying we have to worry about Leicester and Ipswich results is embarrassing. So, I mean, what process
especially with the infrastructure we got and the status.
Exactly.
And the status we're meant to be in, the stature.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't worry about the UEFA. We're not winning that. We're not winning that. I've heard the same from the League Cup, the FA Cup. I've watched Frankfurt play. They're on the counter attack. They're quick. Don't get me wrong. Defensively, they're still open. But Frankfurt, mate, we're not going to get past them. We're not winning. I'm telling you this now.
Frankfurt have got at least 5-6 players that walk into our team right now. Wahi, their forward, I've had an eye on for the last 2.5, 3 years.
Number 11 for them. Number 11 plays wide left. I've seen him play.
Why or something?
But they've got Tutu, they've got Tuto and Arteta in defence. Their centre back pairing is solid. And if we can't even manage a shot on goal in the first half against Chelsea, we're not going to do anything against Frankfurt. Sorry. I've stood by my convictions for 23 months now about this manager. I said 23 months ago this manager isn't good enough, and 23 months later he's proven me right still. It's just a joke now. I'm sick of talking about this manager. He's a clown.
Yeah, well, a little stat for you from earlier, Corey. That's not the first time that's happened this season. 9 times this season we have failed to have a shot on target in the first half.
And this manager seems to be racking up all the wrong kind of records for this club. We're supposed to be the 9th richest in world football. Yeah, right. Act like the 19th worst richest club in the world. It's a shit show. It's like from top to bottom, even down to the tea lady. Fucking get rid of them all.
Oh,
there you go, mate. That's why you're here, to voice your opinions, Corey. Get it out there, mate. And
I said on Sav's show 23 months ago, and everyone's like, "Oh, fresh air." When on Sav's show, I went, "This manager proved me right. He is not good enough. He's inept. He's only been able to do it in smaller leagues when he's been at the bigger clubs in those smaller leagues. Look, Celtic, Tokyo, was it Tokyo or wherever it was he was at?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Yokohama, whatever. I mean, you can walk into the best clubs into these little leagues and play these tactics because you have the resources and the money to be able to beat your dumb Birminghams every week and your bloody Dundee Uniteds, you know? This is the Premier League. And it was even quoted by one of his old players or another manager out in Australia. Like, if you ever took these tactics to the Premier League, they wouldn't work. And he was like, "Shut up, mate." Fucking the guy's a clown. A classic clown.
Joe, a lot of Spurs fans done in the summer when he first started, when it was going bad as well. I noticed this as well. A lot of them, because if you notice in them 2 countries you said as well, Japan and Scotland, they used Arsene Wenger for the Japanese because he managed in Japan before he comes to Arsenal. And they used Alex Ferguson because he managed in Scotland before he went to Man United. And they both struggled for the first couple of years. They were both at their clubs in Arsenal and Man United. And a lot of Spurs fans were using that narrative here to try and use them 2 managers to try and give this guy a basis to say, look, give this guy time. Well, for a start, that's a complete different generation of football, yeah? Football's changed from the 90s for a start, yeah? And they're 2 generational managers. Alex Wenger, not so much better than Fergie, but if you still look at Wenger, what he done at Arsenal in the first 10, 15 years, yeah, was still very good. What Fergie done, yeah, was still very, 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 very good. Eventually, Fergie's a legend. But Fergie, when he done business at Aberdeen, yeah, no Scottish team has won a league title since Alex Ferguson did at Aberdeen, other than Rangers and Celtic. So Ferguson had some pedigree, and he won a European title with Aberdeen, yeah? Ange had no pedigree to sit behind and say, this guy can be, the first. It's what I mean. Some of the Spurs fans were absolutely deluded when they even mentioned that in the summer. And I was like, what are they chatting about, man? I had to sit there and stick up for Wenger and say, do not even put him in the same bracket as Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger managed in France before he went to Japan. But even still in Japan, he went to Arsenal. He was a bit unknown, but this is Arsene Wenger. He changed English football, yeah? And he's a complete, utter mess of a manager in the Premier League.
Well, let's take the differentiations between like the 2 managers. At least Wenger knows how to coach a player, how to coach a team. This guy doesn't even coach the bloody team. Eric Dyer come out and said it a few months ago, guys. This guy does not coach. How far down the rabbit hole do you need to get after Eric Dyer turns around and says that this manager doesn't coach his team? It's just a joke. It is a joke. No manager should be walking into a team if he can't fucking coach the damn team. Couldn't even be anywhere near the club. He'd still be in Scotland in that Tim Pot division.
Yeah, and we've got rejects, is it Hibernian coaches coaching us as well? You know, they got sacked from there.
Another thing that gets me with Ange, he hasn't had a set backroom staff wherever he's been. You look at these top coaches like Pep, even down to Klopp, even down to Ferguson. Over years, they designed their backroom staff to fit them. Yeah. Julian Nagelsmann, when we were talking to Julian over 2 years ago to come to us and coach, he was like, I'll come and coach, but I want my coaching team here. Yeah. Levy looked at how much it would cost them to pay off all the coaches and went, no, mate, sorry, we're not going to sign you up. Went with Ange. And you're like, 10 million. I've seen you sack managers and their coaching staff for a lot more and a lot less. I've just got to sit and the one time you want Daniel Levy to actually act like what he has been. And he doesn't do it. You just got to sit there as a fan, like, I'm going Sunday to the protest. Obviously, Rich got me a ticket to go and watch the match in the stadium. I mean, I said yesterday,
I'll be honest with you.
We lost. I got told I was negative. I jokingly said we'll lose all 3 of our next games and got told I was toxic.
Did you not say though that you weren't going in the stadium a few shows ago?
It was a ticket, my friend. I mean, at the end of the day,
no. I'm just saying. I just thought I'd bring that into the conversation.
I haven't been to the stadium since our last stadium was knocked down. I was at that last match, so
yeah, fair dues, Corey. Everyone's entitled to go in, mate. You know what I mean?
I've got my scarf and everything ready, mate, like what I got from the last protest. But I'm there at the protest. I'm going to go and voice my opinion in the stadium, then I'm leaving.
Yeah. Fair dues. Fair dues. That's all right. That's great stuff. Personally, I will never walk in there while that twat owns our club. I've never been in there. I said to Mark the last time that I was anywhere near that stadium, it was only half built. I was out delivering in London and drove past it. But I will never go in now because I will not give him my money. I just won't give him it. And I know, like Stel says, there's other ways. You know, he's getting your money in other ways. One way or the other, he's getting it. But he ain't getting it directly from me for buying a ticket to go and watch a game. Because I won't go in there until he's gone.
Right. I'm trying to think how many times I've been to the stadium. 5, I think, since the new one. The new one, 5. It's 5 or 6. I can't remember what games I've been to, but as you know, like because of that group I'm in, especially now we're doing rubbish. The tickets are like confetti on there.
Yeah,
the messages on the Facebook group is like tickets available. Like years ago, they were like rock and roll crap. Yeah. You know, you couldn't get any.
Yeah.
But now that they're flying about like confetti, every week in the Somerset supporters group, there's at least a dozen messages in there. Tickets for tickets up for grabs. You know, tickets South Stand, tickets East Stand, 1882 Club, South Stand, North Stand. You know, they're everywhere. And this goes to show how badly we're doing. Because it's only season ticket holders that live in my area.
Yeah.
And because at the moment, all you got to do is have a CRN number and then transfer them to you. But even that's stopping. Because they're doing away with that, aren't they?
That is a travesty that they're going to stop that. You know, that's just Levy to make his money, isn't it, really?
Well,
so they can carry on making his money off of everybody.
It's just one of the crafty things that you got to pay. I think it's £50 for a one Hotspur membership. I've never looked into it, but I can imagine it's £50 a year just for the privilege of being able to get a ticket, if you can get a ticket. But
wasn't too bad a couple of years ago because my son was under 18, so he would join as a child.
Yeah.
And then we could still get tickets, whereas now as an adult.
Because there's the one Hotspur Plus as well. There's a premium sort of membership. And I think that's 70 quid or 80 quid a year.
He's charging for everything, isn't he? It don't matter what it is.
He's a businessman.
Spurs related.
Well,
because it's not a football club anymore, is it?
No, it's not.
As we've said, we've all said it so many times.
It's a bloody business now to them. We don't matter. We're just customers at the end of the day. Before we were customers, we were fans. And before we were that, we were born into a Tottenham family supporting it, you know? So we've got generations going back to whoever it was, my granddad, his dad. You know, everyone's supporting Tottenham in my family, apart from those 2 weirdos that support Arsenal.
He doesn't even want fans in the stadium anymore. He just wants customers. He wants
tourists.
You know, yeah.
It sounds harsh. So what happens when Sonny decides to leave? I mean, he's going to lose the South Korean base there. When Ants gets sacked, he's going to lose all the revenue from Australia. You know, so it just makes you laugh. I mean, Son's only kept here to make money out of, and that's why I feel sorry for Sonny on that one. He's only here to make money out of.
Yeah. I've said this on many shows. Daniel Levy only wants people like now. Big this man up. He wants people like when he came over for his son's birthday. He wants people in there like Bobby Kay. Travelled all the way from Canada because it was his son's birthday. He got sorted out for tickets for the North London derby. And of course, he brings his 2 kids over. It's one of their birthdays, just after Christmas. It was a January fixture. And of course, first time they visited the new shiny Levy Dome, and they're going to want to go in the club shop. Who are you as a parent to say, no, you can't go in there? So he took his kids in there.
Just read Archer's comment about Yang.
Right.
I mean, we're pinning our hopes on this Yang kid to be the next.
Right, and so Bobby Kay brings his kids over. He's not going to tell them, no, you can't go in the club shop and you can't buy a shirt, you can't buy this, you can't fill a carrier bag up. That's the sort of people Levy wants in there. You don't want the likes of me going in there that wouldn't even go in the club shop.
He doesn't even want season ticket holders, Mark, that have been going for 40, 50 years.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing deliberately Sunday, though? I'm deliberately taking my money out of my bank account. I'm only going to come up with 50 quid. I'm going to get the nice grub at the Euro Calf, like old times like I did with my granddad. Have a few pints at the coaches after the match, and then I'm going to come back home to Brighton. I may have got a ticket, but I ain't spending a penny in that stadium.
Yeah, well...
I never do anyway. Whenever I've got a ticket to go, my first port of call is the
toilet.
Bricklayers. No, bricklayers. No. That's after the bricklayers, mate. I've normally had 4 cans on the bus coming up, and then the bricklayers for a few more, and then maybe the Bill Nick for a few more. I won't go in the number 8 bar because he owns that. And the beer's about 10 quid a pint in there. But straight to bricklayers.
It's like 3 quid for a pint of cider. There we go.
I've never been in the coach.
We will be on Sunday.
Yes, I always go.
There on Sunday.
I always go. Someone else is here.
Oh, Mark jumped off. Mark jumped off. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, is he?
I don't know who this is. TJ.
No.
TJ.
Yes, TJ, isn't it? Hello, TJ.
Hello, people. How you guys doing?
Big up, man.
Big up. Sorry. You were in the middle of saying something. I'll let you finish and then I'll.
No. I'm done, mate. All I was saying, mate, is when I go straight in the bloody bricklayers, mate.
Oh, fair enough. How's firstly? Let me ask you guys how you guys been. I hope you guys are well.
All good, TJ.
All good, TJ.
Could be better. I'm not as rich as Elon Musk yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Only several billion to go, Corey.
Tottenham.
I'll get as rich as Musk. I'll come and buy Spurs.
Yeah, that's it, right? That's it. TJ, give us a shout, mate. Give us your feelings. We've sort of all had a go at it, but give us your feelings on yesterday, mate.
So a few weeks ago, I was on your show, and I said something really important in terms of why I don't feel like Levy cares. He's not going to care, and he doesn't really care about finishing top half, even winning a trophy, because it doesn't really make a difference. Levy's built a super duper money maker, monopoly style business, and he only cares about his profit in his pocket. And
he said it 25 years ago when he brought us. He's only here for money. Ding, alarm bells.
So I recently broke down. I can't tell you. Obviously, those that know where I do work in it, but I can't tell you where I work in it. I did also mention that he has plans on actually trying to bring an NFL team there to play permanent. But now I also thought, but I didn't get to mention the hotels. The hotels that are getting built, that's also going to bring a lot of money into Tottenham. And even all the shops around Tottenham have all been pretty much bought out. Let's be totally honest with you. This whole Tottenham, going into this new stadium was a scam from the get-go. We should never have left. I'd be so honest with you. A lot of people might see it different to me. I was against it from when it because we were so close to doing something special.
Yeah.
We were so close. We were actually so close. From that point on, us moving out of that stadium, look at where we are right now. And look, you're gonna obviously ask me how I felt about the Chelsea defeat. To be honest with you, I'm just zoned out. I zoned out maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Because it's like
only
I
3
expect
months
us
ago,
to
right?
lose.
Well,
You
we
zoned
know.
out 3 months ago. I zoned out 23 months ago when we first.
Well, we know, TJ.
Well,
we know, TJ, that you live near Chick King. Is your place going to be? Is your place up for redevelopment and being demolished?
Well, no, but as you know, it's a council place. I don't want to tell you exactly where because everybody's going to know where my location is.
No.
However, they're looking to move us out, so we're getting moved out soon.
Because Chick King's up for being demolished, isn't it? Because they want to turn that bit when you come out the West Stand, going to White Hart Lane. They want to turn it into a Wembley Way, and all that there, Chick King and all that. That's all
100%, 110%. So going back down to like actual football, what does this mean for football? Absolutely nothing. Jack. Look, it showed because the players we brought, look, as much as we like the Lucas Bergvals of this world, you like all our young Archie Grays, whatever you have a feeling about our youth and all of that, yes, 100%. That is a bright and shining armor. But when you're buying them type of youth players, you're not thinking about title contending and winning trophies, are you? You're thinking about building a youth team to make profit. Look at Brighton, for example.
Yeah.
They don't really do anything significant, but they're well managed. This is what Tottenham's going to become.
No, dude. You said about Brighton. Brighton have got a lot of the infrastructure in place properly, like the scouting department. How do you think they keep digging up all these gems that people pass up on? But Thomas signed for what? Just under 5 million. Sestado, 4 million.
I'm trying to make.
Cucurella, 3 million.
Wait. The point I'm trying to make. We are way better. We should be way better than Brighton. We shouldn't even be talking about a Brighton model. In my opinion, I'm a
but everyone's trying to aspire to be the next Brighton and Brentford. Find the rough.
I might be deluded. I expect us to win trophies. I expect us to title contend once in my lifetime.
Well, they've done that.
I don't want to settle for this Brighton model.
No.
Exactly.
I get where you're coming from.
We're bigger than that.
I understand.
We should be. We should be bigger than that.
We are bigger than that.
Yeah.
We're meant to be, but clearly we're going down that direction. And look, although Brighton is run well. You mentioned they've set up a scouting department. Look, I don't know too much about Brighton. I'll mention that. I'll put my hands up about that. I can tell you now,
out of all the owners in football at the moment in the Premier League, you've got Brentford and Brighton, but Tony Bloom has done it the right way. He's been a Brighton supporter all his life. He come in when Brighton were on their knees, made all his money from playing poker and God knows what and everything else that guy's done, and he's put his money where his mouth is and sorted out the Brighton team. You're going back 15, 16 years ago when Brighton was still in League Two, coming up to the Championship. The likes of Michel Kuipers, Bobby Zamora, Charlie Oataway playing for Brighton. You know, I can sit here and honestly say I'm born and raised in Brighton. I'm a Tottenham supporter, but I've always got an inkling of what Brighton's going on. I went through their youth team for fuck's sake.
The question I asked you then, you know more about Brighton.
But when people are bashing Brighton and Brentford saying, "Oh, we don't want to do it that way," these teams are finding the players that these other teams are passing up on. Come on, Sestado was bought like 3 million. They set off to Chelsea 2 seasons later for 120. That's what all clubs want to do.
I don't think he's 100%. I don't think he's 100% saying that. I think what he's more saying is basically that model only gets you so far as like a club. Brighton, if you look at Brighton and Brentford,
aiming for that?
I agree with you, mate.
Brighton's model has kept them in the Premier League.
I've got so much respect.
Yeah, but we don't want to stay in the Premier League. We're Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, if you look at Brighton, that model's all set up for a profit-based model. Yeah, a profit-based model is a good model to have. There's only a certain model that's going to take you to like 8th or 9th in the Premier League. The way Brighton are doing it is a fantastic way. I'm never going to disrespect the way Brighton done it, because if you look at how Brighton's story is, Brighton are doing it the right way. Teams like Brighton, even teams like Bournemouth, teams like Brentford, they're 100% they're doing it the right way. But Tottenham should be taking parts out of the Brighton model and doing it how Brighton are doing it. But what we're saying is that completely following the whole basis of doing the Brighton model don't make sense, because we're a football club who's supposed to be trying to aim for Champions League football at least every single season, yeah? And that model is not set up to get Champions League football every single season. I think that's what certain Spurs fans say. No disrespect to Brighton, because the way Brighton have done it here, it's fantastic. The way Brighton pick up players, they pick up players for decent prices as well. They flip them for fantastic prices, like Southsea over Chelsea. If you look at other players as well, they've sold. They've managed to make so much profit. They sold.
McAllister wasn't even at Brighton for the first 2 seasons. He had to go on loan. Then he come in 2 seasons and Brighton sold to Liverpool for 80 mil. Like
as you said, Daniel, the Brighton model is good for Brighton. That are just happy to be in the Premier League. I'm not.
So why is everybody trying to copy the Brighton model then? We got so many teams trying to copy it, but Brighton and Brentford doing it the old-fashioned way. They're getting boots on the ground.
I didn't make something clear. I didn't make something very clear. Look, I'm not trying to belittle Brighton. I think Brighton have done amazing, but they're Brighton. That's on Brighton's level. We shouldn't be known for doing Brighton things. We should be looking at being the best in the Premier League. We're basically a top 6 club. We should be.
We're not acting like that boat has sailed long ago to top 6 club status.
You look at Bournemouth and Brighton, but Bournemouth, their whole ground fits into our south stand. Right? Let's get that in now. Right? Bournemouth, no disrespect to them either, because it's only down the road from me. I don't want their fans piling on my house. Right? But a team like that are just happy to be in the Premier League, and to survive is a bonus. We're Tottenham fucking Hotspur. You know what I'm saying? We are allegedly a Big 6 club, and we should be up there competing for titles.
The only reason we're a Big 6 club at the time is when the Premier League was being made. 6 clubs voted, and that's what happened. The rest is history.
Well, originally it was the top 4, and we weren't included.
But they needed to get the votes from other clubs. That's what happened. They got the 6 clubs in that they needed.
But before the Premier League, we're a top 5 club.
Yeah, exactly. So
we've always been.
Always been up there.
5, top 6.
I mean, yes, the Brighton model works for them, and yes, it does, and they do bloody well out of it, buying players for next to nothing and flogging them to Chelsea for God knows what. But that's not good enough for me, I'm afraid. Not the status that I see my team in. Not at the moment, but the status I have seen my team in. That's not good enough for me. And don't forget, we built this £1 billion stadium to take us to the next level, so we didn't have to do the Brighton model.
That's why I'm saying it's all a scam. That's why I'm saying moving into that. Go for it.
Let me just say, I agree with TJ to the point of the Brighton model, and Corey. There's nothing wrong with the Brighton model. Tony Bloom, right, is very, very clever. Corey, I probably know more about him than me. I was watching Tony Bloom win a massive race with his racehorse on Saturday last week with a prize pot of about 400 grand. That's without what he's had on. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a gambler anyway. But I get where TJ's coming from as regards to you have the Brighton model, but we are Tottenham Hotspur. We should be steps ahead of that Brighton model.
So
we are
not
though. But we are with the ground. We are with the training facilities. We are with everything else, but not on the pitch, which is where it's most important to us.
I think this is what's frustrating as a Spurs fan, is that we look at the Brighton model, and the Brighton model is brilliant. But when we were winning trophies regularly, Brighton were, without sounding rude, struggling to survive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll get that. Brighton nearly didn't have a club in 99.
No. And it's almost like they've overtook us in the last couple of years. We've got a bigger stadium, better training ground. And now we are lagging behind teams like Brighton. And I think as a Spurs fan, it's just not good enough.
Totally agree. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
As I know Dan spoke about it, just to ask Corey briefly, what are your thoughts on, and TJ, well, all of you, what are your thoughts on, I know we spoke about it briefly, the ear cupping thing? Because to be quite honest, I've got to just talk about it, get it out of the way. Because to me, he's such a disrespectful, I don't know what word to use, idiot. And that's not strong enough by any stretch. I don't want to swear too much, monetized or not. But the geezer's a prick, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
what are you doing? And I've got to ask the question as well. I saw his interview afterwards, right? It may have been this morning, whenever it was. And he was chatting away. And he said, and I found it really strange, he said, why did VAR take 6 minutes? We don't understand why. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Did you see the foul in the build-up? What they give it for? They were, I'm telling you now, they were thinking of sending him off. That's what they were looking at. They weren't looking at no lines.
Do you think that's what the 6 minutes was about?
That's what that 6 minutes was about, mate. They were teetering on whether it was a straight red or not. But Ange didn't get that. He's in the interview. Well, why were they 6 minutes? Why were they 6 minutes?
What about how long it took him for the offside then? I mean, you know, VAR is slowly killing the game off in that sense.
Well, the VAR, well, the offside one was different because that was
wasn't it? That was very tight. And also as well, the reason why it took so long with the offside, they couldn't naturally do the line properly. Because if you see the way the player was offside, there was a player blocking him completely in the line of the view. So it was very hard for them to naturally be able to do a line when they could do it around the other. Basically, the guy who was blocking him was basically he was basically more forward, but he was sort of blocking the two people behind him. So it was very hard to be able to do the lines. I can see why I think it took a couple of minutes, but the Sarr one, he's a very lucky man to still be on the pitch as well. Because if you look at it, even though as soon as you put sort of do a challenge like that in this modern day football now, you know what sort of happens to them sort of challenges. 9 times out of 10, especially after the Tarkowski one not getting a red card the day before, I thought VAR would have definitely given that one as a red card. I thought they were trying to even themselves out and not do 2 days in a row where they've had very controversial red card decisions. That could have easily been a red card. So that's why they looked at it for so long and just tried to negate away from the performance and tried to say, oh, we lost the game because of that decision, and tried blatantly not proper looked at it, and they come out in an interview and said it should have been a goal. What is he talking about? There's no way in hell that's not a foul. That's what I mean. And then he looks like a right mug because he's basically Spurs fans have said you don't know what you're doing because he's made a sub. The sub's come on. He's the one who scored. He's cupped his ear to the Spurs fans to say, look, my sub made a difference. What you're saying now, the goal's been disallowed. You should know what VAR is about anyway. You don't celebrate a goal until you know for sure. That's what he's a mug then. And then he's a mug to even more than going into an interview after. When we see it on national TV, you can see that he's cupped his ear to the Spurs fans. That's the only way. That's the only way he does it. He's basically said after the game.
I was going to say, think of it differently. You say you do that in a different job nowadays. So take away from football. You're walking around being cocky to customers or just generally anybody out there, man. You're bigger up. You're bigger up. Boss. Your manager's going to pull you into that office, either discipline you or sack you. Doing this is disrespectful. Fronting up to the fans, God knows how many times he's done that in the 2 seasons he's been with us. Sorry, man.
He didn't just do that. He didn't just do that. He also waved. You know what took the piss? I'm sorry. I've been trying to hold back in it. But you know what took the piss? He cupped his ear, saying well, go on. Yeah, I know better. Then he waved. He waved. He needs to go. Let's be honest with you. He needs to go. Whenever I watch him in his press conference, he's so arrogant. It's like he wants to pick fights.
I can't bear to watch his press conferences anymore. Do my nut.
I've stopped caring about anything that bloke says. The tactics are wrong. He doesn't coach his players, and it shows. And I said 23 months ago, this guy won't be able to do it. And guess what? 23 months later, and I'm still sat here correct with the biggest smile on my face, knowing I was right.
I really wanted Poch to come back, man. I don't know why we didn't just go for Poch.
He was waiting.
And this is what I'm trying to say. I really wanted him.
I don't know.
He would have been the perfect manager for this.
How do they get him out the America contract now?
Are we not a little bit worried about leaving with Poch again? Because I don't know, I love Pochettino so much. I mean, the time that he had at his football club there, it hurt me so badly how bad Levy failed in that first time round there. I cannot watch this guy come back to this football club and get failed again by this guy. It actually will break my heart.
The only difference with Poch, but the only difference with Poch, I think because there's a love segment to him, I think it will unite the fan base. You know how now we have a lot of Ange in, Ange out. Yes, no, leave in, leave it out. You know what I'm talking about? With Poch, it will unite the fan base. And I think most of us, even if it goes pear-shaped, most of us will be more patient on the Poch because we already know who the virus is. The virus is Levy. We already know this. I'm sorry. He's messed this club up. He has messed this club up. You know? So we already know the virus. With Poch coming in, at least it will unite the fan base, in my opinion. I think he's the only person to take the job. And I really want him now. I generally do. I know he's international now. Buy him out that clause or something, man. Buy him out.
It would cost us more to go and sack Ange and bring him in and get him out of his USA contract than him just run his time with the USA and then come to us. But the good thing with Poch is you know what you're going to get with Poch. You'll also get the good backroom staff coming back with him, you know.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, at least the players will get coached.
Get him out of his contract.
The way Poch is going with the USA, the way he's going, it might not be long before they get rid of him. And then he'd be a free agent.
But the thing is, the USA don't have to worry about World Cup qualification because Canada, USA, and Mexico all qualify for the World Cup without having to do a qualifying match. So so those three teams can play shit for the next 2 years, go to the World Cup, and they're still in it. You know.
How long's Ange got left of his contract? 2 years this summer.
Yeah. 2 years in the summer.
Yeah, so he's on 5 million a year. So it'd take 10 million to buy out to compensation to Ange. And I think it will cost 22 million to 28 million for Pochettino's compensation. It's the highest compensation for a manager ever. It'd be higher than Nagelsmann's one if they try to how Bayern Munich got when Bayern Munich paid Leipzig. Bayern Munich paid something like 21 million or something. It's even higher than that. So it cost us about 38 million altogether to sack Ange to get Pochettino. That's obviously it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for Levy to obviously. We're not accountants.
You know what? Can I be so real? Yeah, I know it's a lot of money.
I want him to do that. I would love him to do that, but I don't.
No, I know it's a lot of money. No, but I know it's a lot of money. But the whole, and I go back down to this point. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm young. Maybe I need to develop a bit more. But the whole purpose of us moving into this new stadium was to reap the rewards. Mm-hmm. Come on, Levy. Levy, right now, you have to do the right thing. Dip into your pocket. Because
we were told
the guy doesn't like dipping in his pocket because it takes away from his bank account. Simple. Levy is not going to do it. We've gone down so many times just sacking managers, bringing new ones in. Levy is just not going to do it now, is he? We want the old Levy back, the ruthless businessman that would just sack someone after 10 games if they've done shit. I mean, come on, we didn't even give Nuno that much time, and look what he's gone out and achieved since leaving Tottenham.
There's a point, I forgot about this. Big up, Tom. Levy did want Poch back, but the likes of Cullen and all the rest of them didn't. Allegedly.
Well, he's the main chair of the board. He can sack Donna Cullen, can't he? And buy her out and the piss off.
Well, he's not going to. That's his mate. But apparently, allegedly...
Sometimes you have to be ruthless in business, man. You get rid of the people, even if they are your friends. You wouldn't keep a leper around, would you? Wouldn't keep someone around like that.
But you see, look, the next things that we need to do, look, is I don't think the Europa League, bro. Can we? We don't have no chance against Frankfurt the way we play. Well, the way we played against Chelsea.
I'm just telling you now, if you think we're going to get a result against Frankfurt, and I'm just going to say Wahi is going to rinse our defence because he is one of the most rapid young strikers in Europe.
Tell me about it.
I love the fact that TJ was just like, Europa League, and he just started wetting himself. Like, we got no chance.
You can hear it from here, can't you, TJ? I can hear you, son.
I saw something online in it, and look, I don't believe in it, but I'm just going to mention it. Maybe get a few clicks on the YouTube in it. Now, if there's a chance of Ange winning this Europa League, he will be our most successful manager in the last 40 years.
Do you want to know why I don't want him to win it? Because having a medal around that guy's neck after the 2 seasons of shit that he's given us, and that I always win Sonic in my second season, mate, bullshit. I would hate to see a winner's medal around that fucking pretender's neck. And it will irk me for the rest of my life as a Tottenham supporter. That a pretender, a guy that probably stumbled into the job thinking it was cricket management and not football management over 30 years ago. The guy could not manage a piss up in a brewery.
Now, the question I have for you guys. Oh, sorry. It is just a question I have for the panel. If he does win it, and look, I don't know. Look, this is just a question that I saw online. If he does win it, I would have to put my hands up and say I'm sorry.
No.
To him.
No. I'm too stubborn for that. 23 months I've said this guy's been awful. Worst thing that Tottenham could do. It's shit.
If he wins it, would you guys? I already know your opinion. You don't want to win it. But if he does win it, would you guys give him a chance?
No.
Well, I know what's
not for me.
Well, I know what's going to happen. Well, I know what's going to happen if he does win the Europa League. He's definitely going to keep his job with Levy's case. But I'm confident what will happen anyway. If he keeps his job going into next season, he'll be gone within the first 3 months of next season, by October, November. So even if he did win the Europa League, he'd be gone in the first 3 months of next season, similar to how Juande Ramos was gone when Ramos won the League Cup. This season's going into next season. It's complete. So we could stand this Europa League if we got lucky. But even if we did get lucky and he won it, I would be happy that we won it. But then I'd be like, yeah, he's going to stay next season, but it'd be gone by.
I'm gonna sound really harsh on this one.
I'm pretty confident.
I want Levy to do what he did to Martin Jol against Getafe. I wanted to do that again, and when we play Frankfurt, I wanted to ring him up, make you fucking sacked after this match, pack your bags, leave. I want him to do that.
Can you imagine this team in the Champions League though? Against, I know the Champions League is not the greatest quality compared to how it used to be. But can you even imagine this team in the Champions League against teams like Inter Milan at the moment, and teams like, I know Bayern Munich ain't that great, but could you imagine like going up against like Luciano and Harry Kane and players like that? Like we get destroyed if we get into the Champions League. The level like we're struggling to even beat teams like the Hungarian team, and then obviously Alkmaar. We're losing against Galatasaray, and we're struggling against teams in the Europa League. Could you imagine the up level of quality next season if we go to the Champions League with this guy as well? If we give this guy the keys to the Champions League football and say try and get us competing in the Champions League. You see that Bayern Munich 7-2 when it was under Pochettino, when it's coming towards the end of Pochettino's reign, when we got embarrassed and we got spanked 7-2.
Yeah,
and everyone was
we got spanked.
It was a very depressing day because it got spanked by Bayern Munich. That would happen on a regular under Ange in the Champions League. 7-2s on a regular. This guy, can you imagine how open in the Champions League against a clinical Champions League team, how open we would be? Like, they would spank us. It'd be 4-5-0 by half time.
We wouldn't even get in the top 16 to be able to qualify. What are we talking about?
So it's crazy. It's crazy. We don't know what teams in the Europa League are out. Look, the only reason we're still in the Europa League is because Alpha didn't finish their deal in the first leg. That's the only reason why we're still in the Europa League. If they finished their deal in the first leg, we wouldn't even be talking about this Frankfurt game. Because Alpha destroyed us in that first leg in the first half, and it could have been 3 or 4-0. If Troy Parrott knew how to put a chance in when in the first and second leg, we wouldn't even be talking about this Frankfurt game. You know what I mean? That's how, and Alpha, no disrespect to Troy Parrott or Alpha, yeah? Can you imagine us in the Champions League next season when we got strikers who are deadly, who are scoring 20, 25 plus goals every season in one of the top 3, top 4 leagues in the world? Do you know what I mean? There's levels to this, man. And then this guy will get us, we'll get spanked in the Champions League next season. That's another reason why I get petrified winning the Europa League and giving this guy any time next season. So I get petrified about playing like any team who's got any sort of like experience from the Champions League. They're playing in these high level games. We'll get spanked, man. That's what I mean. So this is why I want him in a way. I sort of want him to win Europa League here, which ain't going to happen, I know. But I sort of want him to win it, so he leaves us in the best state here, so we can get a much more better manager in the summer. Because if we don't win the Europa League and he's sacked and we've got no European football, it's going to be a bit harder to maybe praise the manager in the summer. But if we do win Europa League and we've got Champions League football and he's sacked still, there's a good chance we can then get ourselves a better level coach. Obviously a much more better level coach than Ange no matter what anyway. But I mean a much more better level coach than where we would if we didn't have no European football at all. So I sort of wanted to win it, yeah, so that he can get sacked at the end of it. and then we can get ourselves a much.
Sakan, bring me Defoe. Yes.
Yeah, the one scenario ain't gonna happen. The one scenario ain't gonna happen. Obviously, the whole reason why he must still be here is because Levy must have this mad feeling that he can win the Europa League, which is crazy. But why has he not been sacked? Because the financial statement the other day when he said about apparently he's just covering his back. He's not going to spend in the summer, and if we don't get European football, he's just going to use that as an excuse. That's what that statement said. But then basically, if he's saying that statement, then why hasn't he sacked Ange in December then? Because if European football's so important for us having money to spend next season, why has he not sacked him in December when the league season was starting to go backwards, when he could have saved the league season and when we still were in all the cups? It makes no sense. That statement the other day as well.
Levy doesn't care. I've said it many times. Levy doesn't care. He doesn't care about all that type of stuff. He doesn't. There's no ambition for Levy.
Day one when he come into this club, his mission statement was make money. Phase out the fans, make money. That was his modus operandum of the whole time. Build this nice shiny stadium. Fill it with fans that are they fans? Some of them are they just there for a day out? I know some people are fans, but I mean, just having players come in and then leave, then turn around and say this guy can't coach, and then you've got the dick that runs it all sitting there falling asleep in certain matches. Mate, you're the fucking owner of this club. Back your fucking ideas up. No, we should have sorted it out months and months ago.
No. But it's sad that there's no ambition from our ownership. That's the saddest thing, because like when you own something, and for me, if you was to put me in the owner's shoes, I would at least try to have some sort of ambition. I would want my team. I would want my team to succeed. Look, okay, cool. I'm going to use examples, and whether they were successful or not, you can actually see the ambition. So, hear me out. Like, look, Chelsea. I can tell you that Todd Bowley is ambitious. He spent a lot of money on young and up and coming players.
Yeah, but then you got to look at the other side of that. He's got over 60 players, and half of them can't even play. So again, they're just hoarding youngsters to sell them off a profit, so they can avoid PSR, FFP, all that every year. So they bring these in to sell them off, so they stay above the books. That's what that is. That's a very smart and shrewd move.
But don't you think it's also ambitious as well? Because in terms of bringing in the best of the class, most of the most of the youth that they brought in are up and coming. We're up and coming. Obviously, they've had poor seasons under the Chelsea ownership, but for me, I can see the idea behind Todd Bowley bringing in all them players. When have you seen Tottenham move like that? Or not even just Tottenham, even Arsenal. You can see when they're signing players, you can see the ambition.
The thing is, Arsenal and clubs like that address their positions that they need to sort out. They identify the player early and go get them. With us, it's let's hope these players become good. 2-3 years down the line, we're still sitting here trying to wish that they become good. Then they get into their mid-20s, and then you're like, okay, they didn't become good. And then we recycle it. We go through the same shit again.
See, then again, no ambition. Again, it goes back down to our ownership.
The thing is, TJ, right? Now, we were told when this stadium was being built, when the plans were in for it, we were told, this is the game-changing stadium. It will take us to the next level. We will be able to compete with Man Cities, your Chelseas, your Arsenals, all the teams that go out and spend 100 million on a player. We would be able to do that. But unfortunately, because of the owner, we're not.
Mark, oh, sorry, I've got to jump in. You did tell us all that, but at the same time, 24 years ago, when they bought it for 22 million quid, they said they were here, and this is not me saying this, I quote, "We are here to make money."
I know.
That was the quote at the start. So whether anyone, now we believe what they're saying, but at the time, you think, yeah, he's just here to make money, but he'll make our club great again.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're here for the money.
Yes.
It should have been a red flag. It should have been a red flag then. But even up to this, when Alan Sugar, look, I'm a young fan, so I was young around them times. I didn't know 1 to 3. I was young. I was like maybe 4 or 5. We didn't even younger than that. When Alan Sugar said he's reached his level, and it got taken over. Wasn't the hope to go to the next level then? So this only from minute 1 that these guys have come into minute now, it's been absolutely poor. We need new owners.
Yeah. Right, we ain't heard from Nige for a while. What's your thoughts?
I think Levy's lost his way a little bit.
Yeah.
I think when he started building this new stadium, you know, I think he actually meant it. Maybe he meant it when he said it was going to be the game changer. The problem is, when we're building this new stadium, we were one of the top teams. We were challenging for titles. We were getting into Champions League finals.
Yeah.
And then when we moved into the stadium, it started going downhill. Obviously, Pochettino got sacked. And then he brought in a couple of winning managers thinking that maybe they will get us over the line. And when they didn't get us over the line, I think he's just lost his way and just panicked. And maybe this is why we're buying all young players. I don't know. I don't know what Levy's up to now, but I think we were so close at the wrong time. And I think the stadium being built kind of interrupted that. And I just think Levy now is, I don't know about lost his way. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it is time for Levy to step aside now.
Well, I'll be honest with you, moving stadiums when we did was the worst time. You look at the last season at Lane, 19 games, 2 draws, 17 wins. You know, that was the worst
like 19
time.
Goals.
Yeah, if we'd have had one more season at Lane, I think we'd have won the league. But
and this is why I keep saying us moving into the stadium was the worst. It's a scam. It was a scam from the get-go. Well, it was the biggest scam ever. Do you know how I know it's the biggest scam? Look at where Tottenham is based. Look at the surrounding areas. Look at the people that actually live in Tottenham. People like me. Oh, no, okay, cool. People actually look at where Tottenham's built. It's the ghetto. Yeah. It's simply run down. So it's a scam. It's always been a scam.
It was always one of the most depressed areas of London, wasn't it, Tottenham?
It's always been a scam. I go back down to that it might not. You need to understand. It's weird. It's weird when you go past the stadium because you look around it, you see poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he'll be saying, TJ, that he's trying to get Tottenham out of poverty by buying every shop up and doing whatever he's doing down the high street and making a Wembley way. He's trying to make it something different. That is what Levy will say. He'll say to you, well, can't you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to lift this area. That is what he will say to you. So what is your answer to him then when he says that to you?
I'm going to be homeless soon.
You can't tell me, though. You can't tell me, though.
TJ, I've got a spare roommate. You can pay rent.
You can't tell me, though, that he's not bought up all these properties, that he's going to own the property and the land, that he's not going to sell that on for vast profits to building companies and, you know, to make houses. And it's a vast profit he's going to make.
Quick one. Okay, you guys go to games, right? You've been to the new Tottenham Stadium before.
Yeah.
Just near the top shop
this weekend.
Yeah, just near the top shop, there's a cafe. Yeah. I'll tell you a little story about an inside story that I know because I obviously live in the area and I know the people that used to run the place, right? Levy bought that cafe for 400,000 or something like this, right? They settled for 400,000. The owner was okay. He bought it 10 grand at the time and it was a local cafe, right? No, look at it. Nothing's been done to it. It's just sitting there. That's all 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Wow.
It's just so he owns the land and the property.
When you next go to the Tottenham Stadium, before you go into your seats, just look at where the Bell Club is, and then just look maybe like 5 seconds ahead. You'll see a cafe, and it's just boxed up and everything. This is my point. My point is this year, even though he's trying to help the area, it's in his own. It's for him. It's for his pocket. For his pocket. It's not. He's not helping.
It's for his bragging right, and it's also his vanity project, really, isn't it?
It is.
Look how pretty I can make this part of London look before I sell.
It is.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, chaps, we'll move on a little bit. We'll come back to Spurs, Southampton at the weekend, predictions, that sort of stuff, what you think is going to happen. But I just want to touch on the protest on Sunday while we've got a few people in here. It's going to be a big do this, I'll tell you. There's going to be a lot more people turn up Sunday than what there was at the last one.
I hope so.
I just want to say to the chat and anyone who's going to watch this, if you can get there, please get there, because the only way Levy gets out, unless he's bought out and he sells, which is very unlikely, is for the fans to make their voice heard. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else we are meant to do. So, if you don't want him, if you want him out, you've got to do your best to come to the protest, because not voicing your opinion would not be helping that. So we know it's all tight, cost of living, all that sort of stuff. If you can't get there, you can't get there. But I just wanted to ask you all to do your best to do so. Thank you.
Well, to be honest with you, right now, I've almost accepted, right, that Daniel Levy is not going anywhere until he wants to. You look at what he's built and look at what he's got with the money that's being generated now. With the no, I don't think it was not last year, the year before. Record revenues of £500 million, 500 and something million. And let's face it,
72 million.
Whatever it was over £500 million. But he bought this club. Well, he didn't buy it, but Enoch bought this club for £22 million, and they've turned it. I'm not saying we were never a big club, because we've always been a big club, but he's turned it into a big club, into a world brand, right? Mm. Why do you think we haven't got naming rights? Because all the NFL games suddenly on NFL 20, whenever we moved in, suddenly the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is on there. If it was, even the commentary on these games, it would be the Amazon Stadium or the Levy Stadium or the Bill Nick Stadium. No, it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for a reason. That's why we haven't got naming rights, because he understands that getting the brand Tottenham Hotspur out there makes him more money than if he had naming rights.
Even if he'd had like partnership, say with like a big brand like Google, we're going to keep the stadium name the same, but your sponsorship that you generate for us will go into the club. And if you think about it, like you log on to Google, the first thing you see is a picture of Tottenham Stadium on that front homepage on everyone's computer around the world. That would be a smart move.
There was no sponsor that would come in without saying, right, we want it to be called, it's got to be called the Google Stadium, right? Daniel Levy, he will go when he is ready to go, and the person stumps up the 6 billion, whatever he's asking, because I think at the moment we're worth about 2 point something. That's what the club's worth is. 2 point something billion. 2 point something billion this is. Bearing in mind he only bought it for 22 million. So he's timed his investment by about 1,000.
2025, something like that. Yeah.
Well, he's timed it by 1,000 at least. So, and you can guarantee if we were worth 3 billion, I guarantee you, Levy will bomb 5. He's not selling it.
100%.
He's not selling it.
He's not selling it
because you got to remember as well. Now this new cash machine's been built, because that's what the stadium is. It's a cash machine. It's a license to print money, right? Now this has been built. He is not going to sell it. Now he's finally raking in the money, because you look at the money it can earn over the next 20 years, the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. I know, all right. He might not be around, but his family will inherit.
That's why I've been saying he's happy. Levy is the happiest person on earth. He don't really care.
He's as happy as a pig in shit, isn't he? Really?
He
doesn't care about the stand. He's making money off everybody. That's it. His mission statement was make money. Forget about the football.
Put it this way, right? He has proven that you can buy a company, build it up, do all the right stuff, get the infrastructure in place, and then sit back, not spend a penny on anything. And there's mugs out there that will still pay to go and watch it. And you can up the price to go in there to start with, but people will still go.
Hopefully this protest, it may not get him out, but hopefully it makes him change.
This is what I've.
This puts the club first. Then
that's all you can.
This is where I was leading the conversation, Nigel. That I don't think he's going to go because he'd be stupid to. But if we can shout and scream and get him to change, to put the football first, to make us successful, because there's no reason whatsoever that we can't be successful with the revenue we got. With the extra income that comes in, your Beyonce's, Rolling Stones is there for three nights. The boxing's there in a couple of weeks. End of April, there's Eubank and whoever he's fighting. With all this going on, there's no reason, if he wanted to, there's no reason we couldn't win the Premier League. No reason whatsoever.
Imagine just winning something whilst having all this, all these big names coming in. They'll bring themselves to the brand, more money will come back in. It's just, I can't take this whole, we've got a loss and then insert rapper's name I've never heard here, buy your tickets. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? I mean, I don't even rate Beyonce as a singer, but at least it's money generated into the stadium.
I don't go monkeys who they have in there. I don't care. I don't care. As long as the ground is empty for when we play at home, they can do what the hell they like with it for the rest of the 30 days a year. 30 days a year we play football there. Do what you want with it for the other 335. Do what you like with it. I wanted to earn all the money.
I just wanted to say, obviously, about the protest and everything. I'm going to head off in a second, so I just wanted to say this quickly before I go. Obviously, a big up, because obviously it started as a small movement all to begin with, but now we saw last protest, the amount of the global attention it got. So it's only a positive now. If one thing you can change now about it going forward is at least Levy might start listening. And that's the one thing that we can get from this. And then he starts seeing him taking a backseat and more away from the on-field decisions that are affecting this club going forward, where we're sitting now 15th or 16th in the Premier League. That's a start. That's a start going forward as a football club. Because right now the position we're in, with the amount of finances we're making from that stadium, is unacceptable. And that's the reason why these protests have to send a message to people like Daniel Levy, who's been holding back this football club for the last 20 years. Well, at the end of the day, people can talk about his portfolio off the pitch. We only care about his portfolio on the pitch, to be honest. We're football fans, yeah? We're not going to be sitting there 50, 60 years time talking about his hotels that he's got built. We want to be talking about trophies that Tottenham have won in the next 10 or 20 years. It's getting too long now. Literally, for a big football club that has this amount of resources to be sitting here not winning stuff for this amount of time, there's a reason why fans are angry. They've got every single point to be angry. So I just wanted to big up the people for from the start, to the point where where people were saying, look, the numbers are small when it first started. At the end of the day, protests have to start at a number to start from the beginning to get to this stage. So big up to every single person who's gone to any single one of them in the first place to get to this position now, where we're having 2 in the space of a couple months, and people were. There's a good chance, really, with the state of this football club, there's a very good chance there's going to be even more numbers than there was last time, and that will send a message, because last time that made the people got attention. People at other football clubs were like, Chelsea were having a protest quite. I think it was like a week after, about their owners, and they actually used Spurs as Spurs as the benchmark when they were saying, look, Spurs got over 2,000 fans to their protest. Look, Spurs can get numbers for a protest. Why can't we? So even the Chelsea fans were starting to know. Other football fans at other football clubs were noticing that the Spurs fans are getting pissed off now. They're speaking up. More numbers are speaking up, and it's becoming like, that's the thing that's going to get more attention. The more ones that go by, the more the fans get dragged down to a position where it's untenable, and they've got to go to these protests because they just want to see change. That's when you'll start seeing Daniel Levy notice, man. And you can see more now that this club's getting to such a fractured state. It's going to get to that stage where obviously you don't ever come down.
I can honestly say this.
It's going to get to a point where
I went to the first protest. It was loud and boisterous. It was great, but there was no ill will. Everybody was well behaved. Exactly. They were trying to make out that we'd all be drunken thugs turning up, trying to start riots when we didn't. That first protest, it's the first time I've been to Tottenham in over 10 years.
You can have a protest where you want to send a message without obviously it being anything like that. All this crap about, it's like a dangerous protest or anything like that. No, man, you just want change for your football club at the end of the day. And we just want to see change for this football club where this guy either takes a back step here or starts hiring serious football managers for this football club here and actually backing them. And the serious football managers that he hires for this football club, even though Mourinho was finished in the past, but even people like him and Conte, actually back them managers. Don't back this manager, the one who shouldn't even be here in the first place. That's the thing, that stuff like that in the first place. And I'm just going to leave it on that, because I'm going to just head off now. But I just wanted to say that we've got Southampton on a weekend, and I'm not even confident we're going to beat that. And we're even going to beat them now. And it's just at the point now where, and if we do lose against Southampton, he breaks another unwanted record that no Spurs manager's ever had. Losing 3 home games against the promoted clubs all in the same season are our own gap. No manager's ever done that in Premier League history. So I just wanted to leave it on that, because, and obviously just big up to all of you for having me on as well.
No worries, brother. Just before you go, Dan, just before you go, Dan, I can say I stood on the protest when there was 20, 25 of us there. And they were, man, 100%, man. And they were painted back then. You've seen the people that was supporters of Levy, they were making out like we were all drunk taking. Was it anti-Semitic was one, racist. For a start, a lot of them there are Jewish. Yep. Quite a lot of them there were Jewish. And there was Levy out chants, of course there was. It was a Levy out protest. But there was never threatening anybody. There was never none of that. There was never none of that. But it was so refreshing to see the last one when there was 2,000 people at least marching up the high road.
And that's why I just wanted to obviously big up, like you said, just obviously from when it was the 20, the 25 people, all the way to now where it's the numbers like it's the 2,000. Every single person that's been at any one of them protests, man, just big up to them, because the one message about that's been always at the start from the protest, from the day one to where we are now, is there has to be change at this football club. And that's at the end of it, and that's still what we can hopefully succeed in by constantly by doing these down forwards. I'm just going to leave now, but just big up to all of you for having me on anyway.
Can we just ask if you're going Sunday?
I can't get there, man. I'm sorry, appreciate it. I can't see finances.
No worries, man.
I'm going to ask I would get there. There is personal reasons why I can't get there because of finances, but obviously I don't want to dwell into it online. But
fair enough.
I'm going to obviously I will put out the message. What I'm saying, so I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going and I don't show up. I'll be honest. I can't afford to go. I'm just going to be straight up to the point.
Fair enough.
How the situation is now. But I still want. What's I'm saying? I just want to pick up any single person who goes to there, because obviously they're helping getting this. And any single person who wants to put a message out there to help people go to the protest, even if you can't go yourself, that's still helping this football club as well. So if you're putting out messages to people are going to the game as well, and you can tell them to just hop over before the match and just see what it's all about, and just to help the numbers as well grow in that way, that's helping as well. So if I could just do it in that way, helping by even potentially getting people like my uncle to even go to the when he's there and trying to get him to potentially go over, I'll try and do it them ways as well. So I just want to big up any single person who goes to them, man, because we just want the one thing for the change for this is the change for this football club, yeah. And this guy has held back this football club for too long, and now he's hiding behind a portfolio of boxing fights, concerts, hotels, and then we're just going to be sitting here in 5-10 years' time, still moaning about this guy until this guy hopefully changes. So hopefully these protests, this one thing that we can get from this is hopefully this guy at least notices them and starts realizing, crap, man, these fans are not going to have what I'm doing anymore, because what he's been doing for the moment he sat Pochettino, man, he's been scamming this football club by saying he's spending loads of money when he spent it on the wrong manager. So he's been scamming us. He's been scamming us for too long, because he should have been spending that money on Poch and potentially on Conte. So I don't care if he's been spending money. He's been spending it on the wrong sort of manager. So that's a rubbish model to have in the first place. So that's not a model that's going to get you anywhere. I'm not buying that as an excuse for him holding back the football club for the last 15-20 years. For we were 2-3 players away from winning the Premier League title in that little 2015-17 period. He could have at least got 2 of them players during that period. The stadium might be an excuse, but still we didn't move into that stadium until 2019. So he could have at least had that little 2-3 year span where he could have at least got 1 or 2 quality players. There's no excuses, and he just held behind it for too long, and has held back this football club, and he's been letting us down as fans for too long. And the people will talk about, he makes all this money. Well, we're football fans. In 40, 50 years' time, we ain't going to be talking about Spurs are the 7th richest club in the world. We're going to be looking back on the trophies that we won. And all I got to look on is a 99 and a 2008. It's 2 League Cups all I got to look back on. And I didn't realise that in 2008, I would have to embrace that League Cup so much, because that might be the only trophy I ever see again. That's sad. Yeah. That's the sad thing about it. I was 18 years old at that then. I remember how happy I was, yeah? Because I was at that age where you could really celebrate it. Because the one before I was 9, I remembered it. I watched the final. I remember the final when we beat Leicester. But the 2008 one was the one where I could really enjoy, because I was a kid. I was at that age where you go to the pub and everything. You can enjoy yourself, man. And you can enjoy the atmosphere of Spurs winning the cup that day. Yeah. I never thought after that happened, that might be the last one I ever saw again. And that's the depressing bit about it for me as a Spurs fan. I'm now 35 years old, and I've not seen any sort of success other than that Champions League final where we got there, and then getting in some League Cup finals on the way. We've seen nothing, man. And that's the bit that's the most frustrating as a Spurs fan. Because people can talk about spreadsheets and all that sort of stuff and financial things. We're not going to be talking about that in 30, 40 years' time, about FFP and everything like that. We're going to be talking about what Spurs want. That's all the Spurs fans really want at the end of the day. And we haven't done enough. We're too big of a football club to be this underachievers. And we are underachievers. That's the one thing you can tell about Spurs. We've got to be one of the biggest underachievers in football.
Just reminds me of always the bridesmaid, never the bride with Tottenham right now, isn't it?
Well, I'll see you all later, yeah?
Thanks, Dan.
See you later, Dave.
Welcome anytime. I'll speak to you soon. Take care,
mate. I'll see you later. Appreciate it. Nice
Bye, man. Bye-bye. Oh, dear. What are we doing here? Honestly.
Ellie, come and talk. Come on.
Yeah. I ain't seen her in the comments for a while.
No, she's been out. She's been out for tea tonight. She's been out with her family for dinner.
I think she's gone for dinner, actually.
Yeah, believe it or not, she texted me earlier, and she was going to a pub. I won't say where, but where I grew up, basically. And I used to frequent that pub with my mum and dad when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. And Ellie's gone there, and she said, I don't know if she said it was some of her family or someone Greek in the family owns that pub now. So she's gone there for a meal tonight. It's like, wow, she's going there 50 years after I started going there. That's sick, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've got to go back to what Tom said a few of his comments ago about the way we are. We're only Tottenham Hotspur in name now. Forget about football club. We're only Tottenham Hotspur in name. You put 11 guys in a shirt right now, it's not Tottenham, is it? We're just playing football just to generate money for this bloke. It's just shocking to think of it like that. I grew up every weekend as a kid, up until I was a teenager. My granddad would pick me up early morning with my uncle. We'd travel the length and breadth of this country to go and watch Spurs play, and I lived for the weekend. I'm really not too bothered about putting a Spurs game on anymore. If Spurs are playing, I'd rather go watch White Hawk play. I'd rather go and watch my nephew play football.
Bump into you Sunday. Definitely see Tom Sunday.
Yeah. Well, Euro Cat, be there.
Bring Dan in.
Yep.
Evening, guys.
Evening, Dan.
Dangerous Dan.
Dan's here after the disastrous Chelsea performance. Dan, this is your stage where you can rant. We are not monetised. Give it the beans, sir. Tell us what you're thinking.
Oh, blimey, let me settle in. Let me settle in.
No, straight in here, mate. There's no messing about. We never give. There's no, like, you just got to come
This isn't the Big Brother house. You can say shit and bugger.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Yeah, congratulations, Corey, mate. I'm getting the, the news.
Oh, yeah, the job. Oh, mate, I'm buzzing for that now. So I start in 2 weeks.
Well done.
Yeah. I like
Mate, congrats.
Still won't be able to afford to take my son to see Tottenham, though, will I?
Big up to everyone in the chat.
No, I don't think I could subject my son to being a Tottenham supporter. I think I might get done for child abuse some way. Make him put a Tottenham shirt on.
Wow. What's Scott on now? What's he saying?
Amazing the pub has managed to last 200 years after Mark first went.
Yeah, I'll show you something really cute, right? So my mum got me this a few seasons ago for Theo. I never brought this. This is when he was 1. That was 4 years ago, lads.
Wow.
Nice.
4 years ago, my mum got me that. She surprised me with it. I mean, I was like, you put money in that bloke's pocket. It's like, yeah, but I want to see something decent on my nephew's back. Oh, sorry, grandson's back.
Is that the same as that one that you got there? Is that the same one? The green one?
The green one, yeah. I never brought it. My mum did. I was like, you put money in Levy's pocket. I feel disgusted.
Yeah.
Go on, son, straight.
Come on, Dan.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Look, I've calmed down. I've calmed down a lot since yesterday. I've come to the realization that we're not going anywhere, are we? Anytime soon, and it's about the protest now, isn't it, on Sunday? I mean, what I didn't like is what I heard from Ange today in the press conference. But I don't like anything he says, so it's no surprise. But what did he say? He said that there was some positive performances or positive something in that game.
He was banging on about in the second half. He said we were getting on top. They were his words. I watched his thing earlier on. He said the game was iffy. It was going either way. But at the time when Sarr scored the goal that was disallowed, he felt that we were getting on top and we could go on to win the game.
I mean, I don't know what game he was watching. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Is it just he doesn't want to criticise the players because that if he does, or criticise the performance too much? I don't understand it. What is he saying to these guys behind the scenes? What is he saying to these players?
I thought Andrew was meant to be a leader of men with these amazing speeches.
No, he's not, is he? He's the worst manager we've ever had, I think. But look, going back to the game yesterday, it was unacceptable, wasn't it? That performance. We looked. I know we've been bad all season, but that was atrocious in a derby. The defence, we were so open. We were a mess. Players like Van der Ven Romero looking all over the place. No composure, no conviction, no idea. It was, I mean, I thought it was probably one of the worst performances, not if the worst performance, because of being a derby. I mean, we've had worse results, but we just didn't look like a team at all. And yes, there was a little rally in that second half, but that was just players trying, isn't it? That was nothing Ange did at all. So it's disgusting performance. We're stuck with this guy. I was hoping, I turned on my phone this morning and hoping that I'd get the news that he's gone, but he's still here. So what can we do?
He's got to have
guys?
something on the board, Ange. Then if he's still got this job. Sorry, there's something going on there. And
it's to do with Levy. He doesn't want to lose £10 million for sacking him, probably something silly like that. Or there's nobody else to come in.
Something in his contract about a break in his contract, but he's got to get to 2 years before the break in the contract can come to effect. Well, how true that is, I don't know. But I did read that today. It's just another rumour. I thought I'd put that one out there as well. You know, because
too many in the rumour mill. Too many in the rumour mill now.
He's been here 2 years in the summer, hasn't he? You know, so I don't know if it's a case of, has it got to get to that 2 year point exactly? Who knows if it's true? There's so much crap going on out there. You just don't know what to believe half the time.
But guys, honestly, literally, nobody has any hope for the future. You know, Levy came out with that statement, didn't they, a few days ago, saying that they're not going to be spending any extra money. So what can we hold on to here? Absolutely nothing. And this season, what we've had and last season has taken us back so much. There's going to be a massive recovery period. Whoever comes in the summer, so many steps back now. We are a mess. And good luck to the coach who comes in to sort this lot out, because it's not going to be straightforward.
It's almost like, Dan, we've got to such a low point that I'm not using the word rebuild because that's not here. Hello, Scott, by the way. I'm not using rebuild, but it almost feels that this manager has been so bad, so bad, that we'll almost, whoever comes in, regardless of what players are here, he's almost got to start again. Because we have no direction, we have no system, we have no tactics. We have players all over the gaff playing in positions that they shouldn't be playing in.
Yeah. It's depressing to think about, isn't it? It really is.
It is, guys. It's true, isn't it? What hope do we have that we've got the board who are not going to spend any more money? You know, they're not going to go above and beyond. So what can we do? What we're doing here? Like, this is the lowest I've been, I think, what I can remember. Honestly, I've got no hope for the future with this club. It's destroyed. And yes, the protests, we can only hope. But, you know, Levy coming out with that statement a few days before the protest, I mean, he's fighting back, isn't he?
Yeah.
You don't care, does he?
Yeah. Welcome, Scott.
I mean, it's going to be a tinderbox Sunday, really, isn't it? If we lose, there is going to be absolute bedlam going down that high street for people going home. Yeah. I can see people not wanting to leave the stadium after the match if we lose. There's just going to be so much that goes on. And I jokingly said to Sav in a private chat the other day, I think we'll lose all three. I think we was all in the same group. I think we'll lose all 3 games. And I got called a negative, toxic twat by someone. So I was like, all right, then whatever.
Yeah.
I've been hit with so many euphemisms and different words, and you know, the bingo of toxicity, as I call it, with every negative thing you can call me. I just sit here and smile at it now. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was right 23 months ago, and I'm still right.
Yeah. I think a few of us are falling into that category now, mate. I've been a long time. Ange out, Levy out. Scott, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think you guys are being a little bit negative here, guy. I don't know why everybody's so concerned. I mean, it's not something other people have seen, but I realized one of the reasons why everybody likes Ange so much. And if you don't mind me chatting for a little bit, I'll just explain why.
Crack on, Scott. You crack on.
One of the things you really want to do as a manager, and I'd never claimed to be a brilliant football manager, but one of the things you really want to do is get it so that you have a system where when anybody plays, you don't rely on 1 or 2 players, right? You want a system that works. So no matter who comes into your side, you get that same level of performance, right? You don't just rely on 1 player, you get the whole team performing. And when you bring in the guy that comes in behind him, the team still performs. They don't fall off. And one of the things Ange has done great is he's taken all of our top players and dropped them down to the lowest, worst players we have now, so that it doesn't matter who we have playing, whether it's Romero, whether it's Van de Veen, they're just as terrible as Ben Davies. They're just as awful as any awful player we have. And it's amazing how Ange has managed to make our players play at such, everybody, doesn't matter who it is, they all play at just that awful, terrible level. So he's done it. He's done what you want. He has us playing all at the same level. Doesn't matter who we play. We could bring in Mbappe here. We could bring in Messi here. And I'm sure, I trust Ange to make sure he gets it down to that low level that our team now plays at. So congrats to Ange. Congrats to everyone who supports him. We have what we want, a team that it doesn't matter who plays anymore. It doesn't matter. We don't even need to buy quality anymore. We can just buy anyone, and we know that Ange will get them playing bottom table football.
Wow. Scott, I thought you was going to throw a few bombs in there on the way, to be honest with you. I'm very disappointed with the lack of in your... I know, we've all had enough, mate, haven't we, to be honest with you?
We just have to try to make jokes now, don't we, Mark? It's all that's left. It's all that we have left is to laugh and try to have some fun, because we're beyond the point where there's any real need for any critical analysis anymore, because it's been done. I mean, we hear so much. We talk in our WhatsApp groups. We talk on streams about this. Surely this is going to be the time he gets sacked. But we've said that for how many months? Surely this is the time he's going to get sacked. And there's just countless times that stuff happens. And you're like, this must be the last straw. No, it's never the last straw with this guy. So I'm going to just laugh. I have fun. I always like to have fun when I come on with you guys anyways. So I'm just going to laugh and make jokes, because it's all we can do until he's gone. And it just feels like that's where we are, right? We're at the point where we're all just waiting for him to be gone. It's not an if.
I'll tell you what, when Ange is sacked, it'll be a national holiday here for Tottenham fans. New bank holiday incoming.
Oh, mate.
And other than that, everything's great. It's always good to see everyone here and chat with you guys.
As long as life's good, Scott, that's all that matters, isn't it? As long as life's good, mate, that's the main thing. We change tact a little bit. We'll come away from Ange, because to be honest with you, I just got to say it's fucking useless. I want him gone. He's a total twat. Get him out of my club. Get Levy out of my club. Get Cullen out, Munn out, Lange out, anyone out who's to do with them, and give us our football club back, because I'm sick to death of being bantered by these pricks here where I live, right, about our football club. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. Give us our club back. Give us our football club back.
Yeah. Now, I'll be honest with you, Mark, right? Now, I told you privately earlier, I probably know 5 or 6, I say mates in inverted commas, Chelsea fans. I probably know 5 or 6 people that I consider mates. When we used to lose to Chelsea, when we were good, Pochettino time, or any time before this fool turned up, when we lost to him, which we did, guarantee 90 minutes, 5 minutes after the game, my phone, bing, 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 bing. All the messages coming through. Oh, Spuds, Spursy, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how many messages I received last night?
Zero.
Even
a banter club, that's why.
Even my Chelsea mates, as again in inverted commas, they feel sorry for me now. They honestly, even like now, even last year, I know a few Arsenal people as well live around here, and even last year, I was getting tagged in stuff on Facebook. Oh, this is you. Things about Tottenham, blah 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 blah. That's even stopped this year. I think generally now, people feel sorry for us. You know, I mean, I've only got to scroll through Facebook. The amount of Paddy Power adverts I see.
I love the Paddy Power adverts now.
They are funny, and I laugh at them. But it's every advert they do is about us.
They're doing it to cheer us up, Mark. They're doing it to cheer us up.
That's all we are now. Is a banter club. We are just a banter club now.
Did anyone hear Troy Deeney today talking rubbish on Talk Sport?
Troy Deeney's a twat. Half decent player at best, and he's sitting there slating off. Oh,
I think he's better than Harry Kane, so you know.
The guy couldn't tie Harry Kane's boots. What are we talking about? He couldn't even tie Scholes' boots.
Yeah. Go on. What did he say then, Dan?
Yeah, well, what's the other bloke on there? I forgot his name now, but yeah, no, one of them was slating Ange, absolutely slating him, and he should. But Troy Deeney was saying the players good enough. I don't know what this guy's planet's on. Honestly, the players are better than what we're seeing.
Well, they're good enough to get fifth last year.
They've down tools on this manager. They really have. It's just they're waiting for him to go. We're like a wounded animal, man. We're sitting in a corner waiting to die as a club. We really are. And with this manager and with this ownership, it's just a slow bleed, and it's just getting less and less more. And we're like barely hanging on with life support at this club right now. The fans are at each other's necks. We never used to be like this as a fan base. You've got one side that are the yay tinted glasses, you know, and you've got other fans that are a little bit more realistic with their critiques of the football club and the manager and how it's run, and yet we're the problem. And it just makes me wonder, like, going back 15, 20 years ago when I was a young kid, even my granddad, there was never any of this. And now I am so fed up of arguing with good people over a fucking football club. I've had my disagreements with Scott, with everybody, with my views on football. But I don't mean it in a negative way, but I'm just so sick to death of the way this club is going at the moment. I'm fed up of arguing with good people. People that have been
Corey,
there.
What do you want, mate? What do you want to happen, Corey? What do you want to happen in the summer?
Dream scenario, we get brought out, Levy's gone, Ange's gone, and we start actually really building a squad to compete. Not straight away. I don't want it like, these the fantasy thing that they come in and then we just start going throwing money at all these top players and then they don't start playing as a team, because you can't go out and get 16 world superstars and hope they all gel together as a football team. It doesn't work like that. You go and get one or two world-class players and build a team around them. We never had that for Kane, with Son and Kane. We didn't really have it. We were, Kane was promised so much and given nothing by this board. And again, it's just, I'm just sick to death of arguing with people over a football club. There's more shit in this world to argue over than a fucking football team right now.
I think, Corey, I agree with you a lot. And I would say I'm fine. Look, if we want to argue over football opinions, let's argue over football opinions, right? And that's part of the fun of following a club. What gets me is when we're arguing about whether 14th in the league is acceptable. And like, how is that the argument we're having? Whether if you're not allowed to criticize your team anymore. If you do, you're not a real, like, you know what I mean? Those are the silly arguments now that's what I'm tired of. I'll debate.
Those are the childhood.
Corey and I disagree on
playground arguments,
That's life, right, Corey? We don't have to love every single same player. We can have those disagreements.
No.
We have to see the videos about, you're not happy with this manager. You're not a real fan if you don't like this manager. Oh, you criticize the fact that we're 14th in the league. You're not a real fan. Like those kind of silly, that's the silly things. I wish we could get over it. And even
I was a fan before Jose and
Conte, right? We had those arguments. All the arguments about Jose and Conte were more football based. Some people didn't like Conte's football. Sure. So we can talk about the style of football. That's a debate worth having. Whether or not you have to blindly support someone it's not a debate worth having. It's silly. And the debates have I don't even say the debates. The arguments have got so crazy personal now, where it's like, again, are you a real fan? Is Dan a real fan? Is Mark a real fan? When we come here, we don't ever worry about, is Nige a real fan? Is this, or like, that's where, to me, it starts to get silly, right? You're not a real fan. You're not this. You're not that. I'm a better fan than you. You're a worse fan.
How can you say I'm not a fan when, you know, you got to have that argument with people. How can you not call me a fan when I'm supporting the same club as you? It's just, it's such a convoluted and stupid argument to have. Everyone supports their club. We support it in a different way. Some people on this side of the tribe, some people on that side of the tribe. We should just be one tribe now. We should be getting behind each other to try and get this dross out. I said it 23 months ago. This manager is either going to bring us together or divide us, but I did not want him at the club. And it's just caused division for 2 years. We sat here arguing about a manager while Levy's doing this. Excellent. These peons don't know what I'm doing behind their backs. Every time we get a loss, like I said, insert world celebrity that I've never heard of coming to the Tottenham Stadium. NFL. I'm a huge NFL fan, but we lose, and then it's like, oh yeah, Tampa Bay and whoever else is going to come over, because they can't get any of the decent teams to come over because they don't want to come all the way to fucking London to play.
No, hang on a minute.
You'll end up with like this shit.
It's the NFL that sorts out who's coming over. It's nothing to do with Tottenham who comes over.
Yeah, no, but there's always a PR. We lose, and then there's next PR stunt, isn't it? It's just, I'm fed up with it.
I don't think we got a problem with what they do in the stadium when Spurs aren't playing. I don't care what they do with the stadium. You know, bring concerts in, bring boxing in, whatever you want to do. If it makes
have weddings there for all I care.
Exactly. You know? Just start putting the club first. You know, starting by sacking Ange, and then it's the only way we're going to move forward.
Luke and Ange.
All we can hope for is another type manager. All we can hope for is another Poch type manager, and some of the signings pull off. And where really that leaves us is maybe challenging for Europe and praying for a cup. It's depressing stuff, isn't it? Like when we know that Levy's never gonna change. He said
Leopard doesn't change his
surrendered. He's already surrendered. We ain't even got to the summer yet. He's already surrendered. So it's so depressing, guys. I just don't know how we cope with it. Really, what can we look forward to?
I mean, I'm going up there Sunday for the protest and the match, but I'm not even looking forward to the match. I'm going into the stadium with Rich, a guy that I've met through the groups like everybody else. Going to chill out with Rich. I can't wait to go and see Mr. Daigle, because there's him and a few others over the last 2.5, 3 years have really kept me on my feet. Before I met him, I was on my arse and things were going wrong. But, you know, I got a lot of respect for Coover, for Ben, Brian, a lot of the guys that have kept me on my feet and going. I can't wait to see Brian on Sunday. I mostly can't wait to get up there and give a guy a hug that's helped me out, you know, and then I'm going to go to the match. But I'll be like, okay, it's a match. Show me something, Tottenham, and it's not going to happen. Not under this manager.
Where are we meeting for breakfast, guys?
I think it's Eurocaf.
I don't know.
Yeah, Eurocaf.
Eurocaf 9:30. Mr. Daigle said he'd be there from, so... My problem is I've got to leave Brighton, so I've got to walk the 5 miles at 4 o'clock in the morning to get the train for 5:42, which is no problem. You know, it's only a 5-mile walk. What's that? And it's all downhill, but coming home, it's going to be a itch. It's all uphill. That's what Brighton's full of. Nice little flat areas, and it's just full of hills afterwards. You know, once you start living in the South Downs like I did, it's just all hills. I can't wait till Sunday, not for the football, the protest and seeing some friends that I really can't wait to see.
I don't think anyone cares about the Southampton game today, really. So.
No.
Not interesting.
Like I said, we lose to Southampton, it'll be a tinderbox up and down that high street for hours afterwards. But we're not going to lose to Southampton. If we do, my God, are we an embarrassment?
Oh, you can't say that, man. Not how we're playing. I know Southampton is shit, mate. Mate, they're the worst team, one of the worst teams I've ever seen. But you can't sit there and say we can't lose on Sunday, because we are so bad. We shouldn't lose.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, there's no ifs. This should be a 3-4-0. See you later. But you know he's going to change the team round again. You know he's going to.
Yeah. It's going to be at least 9 changes on Sunday, isn't it?
Man. And if Southampton are up for it and they want to have a battle, they've got half a chance, because we don't battle.
We're not much better than them at all. We're 17th in the form table, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think
if they score the first goal, if they go 1-0 up, we will struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'll just block it up. That's all they'll do.
Dan.
Go on, Scott.
Dan, you said, what do we have to look forward to? And I was listening to, I think Ben was on with Sava this morning, and he said, back in the 90s, at least it wasn't the greatest time of our of Spurs, but there was good players to watch. Ginola, Klinsmann comes to mind. And what I find is now we don't even have those players. We used to have a player that you were excited. We don't even have those players to get you excited. We play. The style is so awful to watch. The football is just brutal, and there's not a player that gets. Sure, we may not have been winning a lot and doing great in the 90s, but people would be excited because you get to go watch a David Ginola, someone like that. We don't even have players like that anymore. We don't have prime Sonny and Kane where you could get excited. Let's go watch them. Ericsson, what's he going to do? Delhi when he was doing well.
Yeah.
You know, we don't even have the quality players. We don't have a style that, you know, if we were under Ozzy Ardiles, people, I obviously wasn't watching then, but people would say, hey, it wasn't going to win anything, but it was great watch. We're a terrible team to watch. We don't have the hope that we do if you have a Jose or a Conte saying, hey, these guys can potentially win us stuff if we get it right. We don't have the hope we had overall under Poch, and we don't even have the exciting players anymore. It's really, really tough to struggle to say what's the hope that we have to latch onto. And I wish maybe you have the right answer, Dan, or maybe somebody else here does. But it's hard. It seems like we're pulling at thin air to try to find some positives that we have right now.
The only positive in the last 2 weeks was watching the Legends play and seeing Aaron Lennon take players on in his 40s. Jokingly said maybe we should give that guy a contract and see if we can teach Johnson how to take the player on.
I said, so at the beginning of this show, or one of the recordings we've done today, I went a lot in the mid to late 80s through to about... No, all the 90s. All the 90s, I used to go regularly. And I saw players like, well, when I was a kid, I saw Hoddle, then Gaza, then Ginola. Players like that, Modric, Gareth Bale, right? And whenever they got the ball, any of them players, there was an expectancy in the crowd. The crowd, well, especially when it went to all seated, when David Ginola used to get the ball in the midfield,
everyone was up on their feet.
The crowd would stand up and you could physically hear the intake of breath because they were waiting for something to happen. We got no players like that now. There's not one player in that team that when he gets the ball, you're thinking, go on then. You know, like when Gaza used to pick the ball up.
Yeah.
Hoddle used to get the ball back in the day. We got no one like that now. I've seen all these.
To me, it's goalkeepers. And whenever I see Vicario pulling out these worldy saves, it gives me a smile. You know, I'm like, yes. I used to watch a lot of Vicario in Italy, and I was like, there was something there in Italy. But when we got him for as cheap as what we did, that was a still. You know, I was like, okay, we got a pretty decent keeper. It's a shame about his feet, but I don't want a goalkeeper to be good with his feet. I want him to be good with his fucking hands. That's just the old style goalkeeper in me, you know. I don't want my goalkeeper to try and fucking do a Messi or a Cruyff turn on a fucking striker. I want him to boot it 60 yards up the pitch and let the bastards run after it.
Guys, it's taken.
Go on.
Sorry,
go on, Dan.
Go on. It's just taken so much out of me this season. Everything. It's hard to have any hope. It really has. It's taken a lot out of a lot of us, and we've had it both ways, haven't we? Levy, the manager, the recruitment in the summer. It's just, it's really tough, isn't it? Maybe another manager coming in will maybe give us a little boost, but how we're feeling right now with everything going on, it's hard. It's really hard to feel any hope for the future of this club. And it's really, this is the worst I've felt. This is the worst I've felt, I think, for years.
Well, put it this way. After last night, when the ref blew the final whistle and we'd lost. Now, in years gone by, I'd have been devastated losing to Chelsea. For a start, I knew my phone was going to start binging. But this time, I just sat there and thought, so what? It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. I've never really felt so disconnected with my club. You know, the club that I've supported for 50 odd years. You know, I'm done with it now. I really am.
Am I the only one? This is probably really bad, but am I the only one that when that ball went across the Sonny in the last couple of minutes, I was so glad when he didn't score? Because I don't think we deserved anything. I'm not. I don't want us to get a point. I want that manager out. So yeah, it's bad, I know, but I was actually quite relieved when Sonny missed it.
I'll be honest.
What's so bad about Tottenham right now? I never used to be like this 5-6 years ago. I'd always be excited to watch. I'm now using Tottenham to fall asleep to, so I can get napped. This is how bad this team has made me feel now. I'm sitting there thinking, right, I'm tired. Let's slap on the football. Because I know nothing's going to fucking happen. It's like watching England play in the early 2000s. You know we're going to get battered because we're England. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but what a change that is, Corey, because like Mark said before, you know, when Poch was here, Champions League, and we were second and third in the league and all that, every weekend, every weekday, you'd wake up and think, yeah, we're going to win today.
I was actually proud to wear my Tottenham shirt back then.
I still wear it, man. 57 years old. I'll support my club till the day I die, whether Levy's here or not.
Dude, they don't do them in big fat guy size like for me, for Nike. I'm lucky if I fit the 3XL. I'm losing weight. It's a good thing. I'm doing my man versus fat thing, but I'm not going to be able to fit in a shirt all the time. Nike sponsor us.
Well, yeah.
Puma, now we're talking.
Slim fit, Corey. Slim fit.
Well, I lost almost 2 kilos last week. I barely went to the gym because I'm still waiting to pay my gym membership off next week.
Oh, you'll get there, mate. You'll get there.
I was going to say, don't talk about weight loss. The king sat next to me.
Don't. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No.
Sunday, chaps. Let's just change it a little bit. Is anyone expecting any major changes on Sunday, or do you not really care? And what do you think the score's going to be? Do you think we're going to get a result, or is there a chance we could get turned over? Anyone can go.
I'm going to sound pedantic here. 2-1 Southampton.
Oh.
So they don't go down as the worst team in the league's history due to Derby. I just don't want that Derby duck ever being broken. I always wanted to be Derby because I bloody hate Derby.
I'm expecting Spurs to win, to be fair, but I was at the Leicester game and I expected us to beat Leicester as well, and we didn't. So, yeah, I think there'll be changes. I can see at least 4 or 5 changes, to be fair, and yeah, that concerns me. So we'll see. But we should win. It's Southampton. They are as bad as they get. I'm expecting a win. It won't be comfortable. I think it'll be like a tight 2-1 or something.
Scott, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win big just because that's what happens, right? We'll win big. Our fans will get excited. We'll go play Frankfurt and we'll lose there. I mean, would I be surprised if we lose? No, we could beat anyone. But I think this is the kind of game, right? Southampton are so bad. And this is the kind of game where we show up, we put a big score up, our fans get excited, and then reality hits again when we play Frankfurt. And
yeah.
You know what it'll be? Sunday, we'll smash Southampton, even though I'm saying we'll lose. It'll be like, we'll smash them like 5-6-0, and you'll hear all these people on the fence go, or not the fence, the engine, like, we got our Tottenham back. Oh, yes, Ange Ball's cooking. You'll be like, no. One win in what? How many games would this be in the league if we beat Southampton? Was it 7 games we haven't won now in the league again?
There we go. I think most of us are like that now, aren't we? For this weekend.
Yeah.
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 This is exactly what we're like, Rich. Yeah. I honestly don't care. Well, put it this way. This will be the first time I've been to the stadium and not go in the damn place.
See you Sunday morning, Rich.
And I don't want to go in there. I honestly don't want to go in there. It's the first time I'd have ever been to that stadium and not gone in. That's the only time I go there. It's a bloody long way for me to go all like that. You know, and it's the first time I would have been without going in there. You know? So
it's not on the telly, is it, Mark?
No,
the game's not even on the telly, is it?
No, it's not on. It's not on. Oh, well, so it's all aboard the protest Sunday morning. I know there's people travelling from all around the world to be there.
Well, put it this way, mate. I've just said about me travelling 150 miles to get there. Mr. Daigle's come from Toronto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, that's not the only reason.
How's it going with Mr. Daigle? You can take the lad out of London, but you can't take the London out of the lad. There you go.
That's not the only reason he's back. That
yeah, I know.
The only reason
he's come to see family, obviously. I know the reason.
Well,
Well, he's back because he can't take that long. He can't keep taking all these vacations to Toronto, right? He's got to stay a little bit of time at home between his holidays.
Yeah.
Big up, Brian, if you see it. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, mate. Sunday, sorry.
Yeah, we certainly will.
We've done 2.5 hours. I think we've done really well.
Hell, mate, have we?
To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, we have, man.
We're going to wrap the show up. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat for being here. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please like and subscribe to Pure Coys. Please like and subscribe to the Dan List. It's very important. We're all trying to get our words out there.
I did sneak their links in a while ago.
Yeah. Thank you to Scott for coming on. Thank you to Corey. Thank you earlier, Dan, for coming on. Have I missed anyone, Mark? I can't remember. TJ. Yeah, TJ. Make sure you subscribe to TJ as well.
Yeah.
It's been a great show. As always, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
Thanks, everyone. We'll catch up with you soon. Goodbye. Thanks for now.
Good night, gents.
Big up.
Good night.
The 2 Mark Show. Don't need a dress and